a world where equality is just another euphemism for mediocrity, where participation is more highly valued than achievement, where just enough to get by is the new standard of excellence. There is a small minority of people who fight back against such apathy, who struggle daily to reach new heights. These brave few are the hope for the future, the bright shining light for the next generation. They are the ones who will lead us to the places we have never dreamed of, to the undiscovered country, to reach goals only a few can even begin to imagine. Unfortunately, none of those people could be here tonight, so kick back and relax. Prepare yourself for several hours of fun, friendship, fascinating conversation, and fabulous music. All those F's, that's an alliteration and kind of a radio trick. Speaking of radio, you're listening to the most popular radio station in the history of broadcast radio, at least among stations that originate from Chris's living. It's Curious Times. Your host is Curious Listener. Here she is, Chris.
All right. Ouch. Hey, everybody. Oh, that was a bad way to move. Welcome to Curious Times. It's Monday night, December 19th. Ooh, almost going to be Christmas. And so we have, so sorry if you caught the tail end of that country song, but I think the country song was finished just before you got here, Christy. So that's good. Good timing on your part. And so remember, we have those of you guys that were here on the weekend. We had Saturday night. Dianna came on and interviewed. I'm trying a new thing here, getting some of you guys to come on and interview the regular guests, because how many hundreds of times can I do it, right? And I think that it can generate some interesting discussion that might not otherwise get generated with me, sort of just having whatever, just passing the time, idle chit-chat, So it's an idea that I had, and we'll see how it turns out. And so reciprocating, Dianna is here tonight as our guest, and Kimber is here as our guest interviewer. And anybody who wants to have a reading, get in queue, or if you want to jump in on the conversation, just come on and unmute your damn self, right? You know how to do that by now. And so anyway, you guys all know Dianna, and you can read. But for anybody that's listening remotely or later on in one of the other places where Intuitalks broadcasts, and you aren't seeing this chat room, then Dianna is a psychic medium, a Reiki Master and Teacher. She's a past life regression specialist. There's an interesting area to delve into, Kimber. Paranormal Investigator and an ordained minister. She's a graduate of the Silva Method, and she has training in spectrum healing using universal energies. She's also got training in dowsing, and she studied with Master Chen, a Taoist, I'm saying with a D, and I was proven to be correct with that, priest and healer. You can connect with Dianna at her website, www.psychicfrontier.com, and you can just search Dianna Monroe on Facebook, and you'll find her there. Her link has one of them great big long numbers, and so it's just not conducive to passing it along easy. I do one quick thing. I got a little fairy gift in the mail today, and so it's like a sun catcher, and it's just too long to show the whole thing like in one. It would be cool if here's a little loop. If this loop was big enough to get over this ball, this crystal, then it would also double as a cool little bracelet, but it won't fit through there, unfortunately, because that would be cool. Wouldn't it be cool? And yeah, it makes really great rainbows. And so this one is particularly a prosperity healing, also the green stone here, aventurine, I believe, for healing. So meditation and all this kind of stuff. Great thing. Mary Margaret, if you contact the woman back and tell them that if they send you a free gift, that I will share their information on my radio show. Otherwise, I'm not going to bother saying where it came from, except for that it came from Mary Margaret. And you are getting sleepy. Okay. All right. So enough of that, right?
I wanted you to have a store gift.
What's that?
I wanted you to have a store-bought gift.
It's beautiful. You could make this. It's not unlike. If anyone can see, you can't really, but the one that you made for the bottles. You know what I mean? It's really exactly. So I know what you mean. I know what you mean. You see now, if you ever do such a thing like this, and you do it in a way that, like, this length would be perfect. If this here was more of an elastic type of material, then this ball on the end could fit over, and it could also double as an enclosure for, because that would be cool to wear as a bracelet. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll work on that. Okay, I'll shut up now. Love you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yay! And so, okay. All right. So that's our business. Business is taken care of. So let's go get Dianna and let's go get Kimber. So hi, Dianna. How are you?
Hello. I'm very thankful to be here tonight. My internet service was down for a while, and I thought, oh, no, if I don't get the show number, I can't call in. Chris is going to think I'm blowing her up, and I'm not. But we're all up again.
That would have been 2 nights in a row, too, because our guest last night, Pamela, didn't show up because she apparently fell asleep and then didn't hear her alarm, hey?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that would have been crushing. It would have crushed me. I would have cried all night now.
Well, thankfully, my internet service provider, they had competent people to get me back up so I could get that information.
Awesome. Kimber.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for that.
Hey, how are you guys?
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Hi, Kimber. Great. How's it going for you?
Every night lately, I'm having a little shot of that there Irish cream that all your guys' donations, beer money helped me buy. And so I'm always great at showtime.
That helps. Well, I'm still going to be sending you some more, so you'll have plenty.
It's just a little shot. I'm not becoming an alcoholic. There's no need for anybody to get alarmed, you know what I mean? And so, anyway, I want to leave it to you guys. I'm going to be here and everything else like that, but I want to become an interested listener now to the ensuing discussion and interview that will occur.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know how interesting my story's going to be, but take it away, Kimber.
Yeah. Oh, very interesting. Definitely. You're just amazing. You have such great energy and a very, very wonderful heart, sweetheart. You just do so many things. So I'm very fascinated. What kind of sparked you, and at what age were you interested, and what did you find most interesting and start out with? Was it mediumship? Did you see spirits when you were young? Because I feel this has been a lifelong thing with you.
Oh, yeah, very much so. I remember seeing spirits. Well, I actually have a few fleeting memories from infancy, and I had someone I was working with tell me I was going to get some more of those back, really early life memories, and they're kind of slowly coming back. But, yeah, I've been intuitive, really intuitive all my life, but at the time, like when I was a little kid, like anywhere from, 3 to 7 years of age, well, maybe not quite that old, but at least 3, 4, 5, I just thought because I could see spirits and I could read minds, I just thought everybody did. So I didn't know anything about intuition. I didn't know I was psychic or intuitive. I just thought I was like everybody else. You know, it wasn't until my parents started to give me these really worried looks when I would say things about things I was seeing that I knew, well, not that there was something wrong. There wasn't anything wrong, but that's the way I interpreted the reaction. But I don't know what I got into first. I guess what first came to me was just seeing all the apparitions. I remember we would go to my family when I was very young. We would go see people on the weekends, friends of family members. And there were a couple houses in particular where these spirits would just be walking through, and it wasn't like they were haunting the place or anything. It was just kind of like either a portal or almost like a pedestrian interstate. They were just coming back and forth. They were just, in between places. And they were from all different time periods because of the clothes and the hairstyles and everything, and I always found that really fascinating. But go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, it's a natural gift with you. I just really feel that, and I know that, and I completely understand, as you said, being the young, and keeping a lot of it to yourself, but knowing, seeing and feeling and knowing you're a little bit different than others, but knowing, and so I totally relate to what you say, and you just have an amazing gift that you have had since you were very, very young. So I find that very fascinating. So continue. That's wonderful.
Well, when I was still really young. I think I was about 7 years old. I made what I feel now was a big mistake because I felt very overwhelmed at that point in my life because I had absolutely no one to talk to about this, no resources. I try and talk to kids my age, and I couldn't find anybody else that was really experiencing anything remotely close to what I was. And so I just asked for it to either stop or to really be cut back because I just couldn't handle it anymore. I wanted to just kind of blend in and, be like everybody else or what I thought everybody else was. And that happened. I had a lot of it shut down. I still got a lot of messages in terms of, I think we always get psychic signals in terms of decisions we need to make. Like we say we're going to make a choice about a certain friend or a job or whatever, and we kind of have a feeling, no, it's not right, but we want it so badly, we push forward anyway. We end up shooting ourselves in the foot. Well, I've always received those impressions, but the apparitions and a lot of things that I experienced at a very young age haven't quite come back yet. I've asked for them to come back and apologize for asking them to go away because now I see that I could have done a lot more useful stuff even at an early age. I just was not aware, what gifts I had. I didn't even know they were gifts. I just thought I was kind of a freak because I couldn't find anybody else that really knew what I was talking about. I can remember as a kid, I scared a lot of adults, especially people that were, I'd say, middle-aged and older, because I thought everybody could read minds. I'd be reading their thoughts, and I would say something in response to what they were thinking, and they would just have these shocked looks on their faces. I'd just freak them out. Not trying to. I just thought I was, I was doing what came naturally, but like I say, it scared a lot of people. But had I known a little more about it, or if I'd even had one resource in my life, one adult that might have been able to kind of take me by the hand and say, okay, I know what you're going through, and here's what I've gone through type of thing, I think it would have been a lot easier. But like I say, now I'm trying to get more of that back. I still see lots of spirits, but it's more in my mind's eye now. But it was really kind of cool seeing them with my physical eyes, that kind of wispy apparition type spirit.
Yes, it is, and it's amazing. Being young, we tend to be more open, and until we're conditioned to not be, and until we're taught that it's not accepted. And so we do tend to keep a lot of it to ourselves, especially when we don't have anyone to help. And I totally relate to that. I completely understand that, and I live that as well. And so I think it's what has made you who you are, though, and made you all the more strong, and it made you grow in a certain way that just really, really shows now. And I do believe that you are going to start to work more with it, too. You know, I think that you already do, but you're going to all the more. And as you said, you kind of ask for it to go away, and sometimes we do that. And I do think it is going to come back, and it's going to come back very strong, especially in the next few years. And I think you're going to be working with so much, and you have all your life. And I understand that asking it to go away, and they do come when we need them to, and you will see them more, you know. And it's amazing. You have so many talents and so many gifts, and I think seeing them, especially being so young, kind of also got you interested in the paranormal, which really fascinates me, and I love that as well. So you'll have to tell us about that too, and what you do with that, and what kind of interested you, and when about you started that. It just seems like you've always seen spirits. You've always seen, seen dead people. You've kept a lot to yourself, and it just feels like you have so much to offer. I just can't wait. I'm so excited to see how much you're going to grow in the next few years.
Oh, thanks. I'm hoping I don't have, that it doesn't take a near-death experience or something traumatic for me to get that back, because I am open to getting it back. But, we never know. We kind of co-create. Sometimes we don't. I hear a lot of people talk about, we create absolutely everything in our life, and we draw that in. And some days that feels kind of right to me, and other times I think, well, no, it feels a little more like a co-creation thing, that there's still, what do you call it, God, or kind of the collective consciousness can still.
Oh,
where'd she go?
Her comment. Oh, she got muted. Dianna, if that happens to you, you hear a little beep in your ear like that, then push your one button.
Okay, you can hear me now?
Yeah, yep. If that happens, because I can't always catch it quick enough, you know what I mean? And so if you hear a beep in your ear, it possibly means you're not in the chat room, eh? Yeah, you are? No?
I don't think so. No, I'm in a warmer room where I don't have a computer right now.
That's okay. So just saying, if you hear that beep in your ear, press 1. Or if you hear us going, where did Dianna go? Press 1. Okay?
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, I know some of the spirits that I want to see again. When this goes back to my infancy and early toddler years. I remember seeing about 5 or 6 different spirits, and there were a couple of them that maybe looked kind of human. One might have actually been human at one point, and another one looked kind of human, but the others, they didn't look human at all, but they didn't look scary. They didn't look anything like the Hollywood, like alien things. They just looked different than human. But anyway, I think they were really my original family, because they were around me all the time, and I knew their names, and every time I would see I guess the best way to use it is a dark energy, because the way I saw it, it was just floating energy. It was either black or dark gray, and I would just get a scared feeling and just kind of a sick feeling in my gut. I knew it was malevolent, and I would call in these family friend members and say, that's over there, get rid of it. And they would send it away. And it was some type of, I don't know if it was a jinn or a demon or what it was, but it was not there to help anybody. But anyway, these spirits, I remember when I was about 4 years old, because I remember my parents were just kind of talking to me about school and, getting me kind of mentally prepared for that. I remember them telling me, well, pretty soon you're not going to see us anymore, and you're not even going to remember us for a while. And I would just laugh. I'm like, you're kidding. I don't believe that because, you're with me all the time. Well, then, sure enough, after a little while, I was in school and kind of plugged into that programming in the system in this world. And sure enough, after a while, I was trying to, they kind of gradually faded away. I was trying to call them back or piece them together in my mind, but it wasn't until years later I kind of went, hey, wait a minute, what happened to your real family? And that might have been when I kind of tuned more into, oh, okay, that's, I've been hearing stuff in books and on TV about, psychic stuff, intuition. I better pay attention to this. So that's kind of when I jumped into that again, more in my adulthood years. But I officially set it aside for quite a while.
Yeah, well, and it can kind of come and go throughout life and be stronger at times when we're available for it, or it can be overwhelming, and sometimes we just kind of need a little break. And it just seems like, our bodies will tell us that, and our minds as well. And you're really good at that. You're really good at reading people and good at knowing what to do and when you need that time to recharge. And so that's good. I know you've mentioned before you really love to work with crystals and stones, and I feel a very strong connection for you with that, and I think that's very healing, and you're also a healer. So kind of tell me a little bit about what kind of started you in that. I feel very healing hands, strong healer with you. So, and that also too seems like a lifelong gift. You've always not only had the connection with animals, but with people. So what kind of got you interested in that? And if you kind of tell us what you do for...
Well, the healing work I really didn't get too interested in or aware of until I was maybe, 34, 35 years old. But and I think it was the stones. It's funny you mentioned the stones, too, because that kind of got me pointed back in that direction, because ever since I was old enough to walk, my parents would take me to this park about a block away from where I was growing up at the time, and at that park I would always bring rocks home. I knew which stones I had to keep with me and keep around in certain places, so I've always been drawn to rocks. And then, again, like I said, once I got thrown into school, I learned things very quickly, and I learned to get sucked into the system really well and set a lot of this really wonderful, good talents were given aside. But I was starting to get into rocks again in my mid-30s. I think I was going through a divorce at the time, and I just kind of noticed some crystals. Some friend was wearing a crystal necklace or earrings or something, and it just kind of mesmerized me. And I learned about a metaphysical bookstore in my area, and so I went and I just kind of fell in love with rocks all over again. And that was at the store. Someone said, hey, you seem to have, some healing energy about you, and there's somebody here in town that teaches Reiki classes, and I think you might be interested in that. So then that's how I got started healing, back into the healing again. I started taking the Reiki classes, and I went through it pretty quickly. I went through all the levels and became a Master Teacher within, I think it was just under a year and a half, maybe. So that was, level 2 was the one that affects you mentally and emotionally. That one was really a hard one to take because I was going through a lot of transition in my life, and that was kind of like the cosmic 2x4 slapped upside the head. But I didn't stop because I knew, okay, this is just this level. You knew the first one was the physical, this is mental, emotional, and the next one's going to be spiritual. So you're going to be fine, just power through it. So that's what I did. But level 2 was pretty tough for me. But I just kept doing it and kept working with the energy. What was unusual, though, with the Reiki was when I was at level 1, I would be using it in my hands. The temperature of my hands just got really high. It didn't bother me at all, but people would say, whoa, your hands are really hot. And there was nothing I could do. That's just the way the energy was going through me. But then ever since then, when I moved on to levels 2 and 3, became the master level, they might get a little bit warmer, but it's nothing like what it was when I was level 1. They were just really, really hot. So I thought that was very unusual.
It is, but, it was just so much energy that you learned throughout the time to control it more. It's just so much and so overwhelming, and I think that was a lot of it, too, and that's amazing accomplishment and such a great gift that you share, to become a master at it. It's something that you've always had, and you learn throughout the time, and that just really fine-tuned and kind of finished you off, got you going, and so that's amazing, and I just think you're going to do such wonderful things for people, animals, and especially horses. You're going to really...
I hope you're right, because I felt it's been very latent, but for almost a year now, I've just kind of had horses in the back of my mind, and I didn't know why, and it's like kind of the floodgate opened when I spoke with you before when you mentioned that. I thought, horses, yeah, that really, really feels right. And I met a friend about, almost 2 years ago now that doesn't have horses now, but has worked with them a lot and really loves them. But it's funny about the temperature thing with my hands. That's another thing I've kind of asked for back because I actually kind of miss it. I don't know if I just balanced it out a little more, and so that's why the temperature became a little bit lower. But for me, it was kind of that physical sign I needed that, yeah, you are making a difference, Dianna. Keep doing it because, you're doing it for a reason. Because there are some days I'm thankful I have it all, but I think, well, I haven't really made it into a business yet. And there are some days I just wonder how much good is it really doing, And I do a lot of distance healing work. I try to do at least one session a week where I have a list of people's names that have either asked for help or I know they need help. But then I also know there's an ethical thing. If people don't want it, they're not going to take it. So at least that's what one of my teachers, my Reiki Master Teacher, told me. And that really resonated with me. So I will send out energy to these people, but I'll say if there's any reason they do not want it, then do not send it to them. Reiki Master Guide, send it to someone who will welcome it, someone who needs it and wants it.
Exactly. With any Reiki, any energy healing, anything, any good intentions, any healing of any type. The distance healing is great, and for them to be open to it and to want it and to do their part as well. You can do what you can do, but they also have to do that and have to accept it and want it and very much be open to it. So I completely see that. And, with you, I really, really think that you just have such strong heat, your energy, your healing energy, and through your hands is where a lot of it comes out. And what would be really awesome to see is I can just so see you working with stones and heated stones and with people, but with horses. And they're very healing, and certain ones that you're drawn to, and you take the heated stones and also the heat from your energy and your healing energy works through them as well, because you have such a strong connection with stones and rocks, and I do as well, and I think you can even read them, and certain ones call to you as they do me, and so I really think that's great and amazing and wonderful to look into working with heated stones and the healing work and the horses you're definitely drawn to, and I think that's great that you're looking into getting back into that. I think you do already do so much for so many, and more than you realize, and which is such a gift and so great, and you're going to do so much more, and you have a very strong connection with the horses, so I'm glad that you're getting back into that, because I do see, as you had mentioned about a business and doing that, and I think you're such a strong woman, and you have the ability to do that, and horse medicine and working with horses, and not only in that, but I feel that herbal connection, the working with herbs and actual medicines with the horses as well throughout the years. You're going to get more into that, and even a book. Do you have a book on your mind? Because I feel that you're going to have a book in your future that you're going to write. Is that something you're thinking about or fascinated about?
Oh, we lost her again. Can you push one, Dianna?
Oops.
I heard the beep once and pressed 1. Did you lose me for a little while?
Yeah, sorry.
I pressed 1 right away, but nobody said anything, so I thought everybody heard me.
Okay. Well, no, you haven't missed answering any question, but until now. So, good.
Okay, great. No, the healing stones, I'd never really thought about that, but I've had a feeling for some time that I'm going to be moving somewhere else. And while I love the ocean, I love all areas, but I always thought I'd move to the ocean, but now I'm feeling a little more drawn to mountains and or deserts, and so I'm feeling like I may go to Colorado or Arizona, and I kind of have a feeling maybe the horse connection might be wherever I'm going to be going next. Unfortunately, I don't know anyone right now that has horses, so that's a connection I'll have to make. But yeah, the heated stones, that sounds fascinating. I have a strong pull toward that, and let's face it, the horses, they're not going to think it's crazy. They're going to accept it, whereas people, if you say, hey, I've got this carnelian here and some quartz, and I'm going to heat those up, and put them on these chakras, they may be kind of freaking out, but the horses, they're going to be wide open to it.
Oh, yeah, they're going to love it and love your energy, and you have a natural gift for it, and working through the stones, through elements, and fire and stone are very strong with you, and you have such an amazing connection, and to incorporate that into healing and into a business, because I do see the move, and I do see that being a great thing for you, and Colorado and mountains, one of them states in that area, perfect, a great business opportunity and to expand, because you already do so much and have so much to offer, and I know you just love to help, and the horse connection, I really see that, and as you said, they're open to it, and they know when you love them and you have that special connection, they can read people as we can read them, and I just really feel very strong with that. I did the other night too, even giving you a reading. I just so see that with you, and I can just picture that, and so I just see an amazing future, and that you're going to be doing that as well as all the amazing things you have already done. Adventurous. You're a very adventurous girl, very strong, and when you set your intentions for things, it's amazing what you do, and you're not afraid to take that jump, take that leap. I mean, I can just see you just about jumping out of a plane, where most people like me would say no, not happening, but I can just see you saying, all right, I'll do it, So I see you doing this and such great things. So you're definitely going to have to keep me posted and anything I can do to help, because I just think it's such an amazing thing that you're doing. And
thanks. Yeah, maybe we can connect on Facebook, because I think I might have sent you a private message there. I don't know how often you're on Facebook. I'm not on that often. I need to get better at that. But I know one thing for me is I'm, like you said, I'm open and I'll just jump into something. But where I sometimes feel frustrated, and maybe you or other people in the audience might relate to this too, is I'll start out with something, and then sometimes there's a gap in the connection. Like you were asking me about the books. I've written 3 novels already. And thank you, but I've not sold any yet. I'm in the process of finding agents to do that, but my frustration lies in from getting from point A to point B, starting the work, and then B, either bringing in the money for it and or really making that connection where you're using your skills to actually help somebody or something. And so with the horse thing, I'm really excited about it, but then I kind of mentally stop and say, wait a minute, you don't even know anyone right now that owns a horse. How are you going to get into this? And so what my challenge has been is just working with my thoughts, because I've always known thoughts are very, very, very powerful. But at the same time, with all of the energy shifts going on right now and increases in all different types of changes with the energy, I think our thoughts are much more powerful than they were even 5 years ago, 2 years ago. And so the opportunity for me here is to just really keep focusing on what it is that I want. You know, let go some of that worry of, well, how are you going to meet someone that wants you to help work with their horses? You know what I'm saying? So what I keep doing is it's just, okay, what is it you see yourself doing, what feels right? And then I just do my best to keep picturing that in my mind of, like, I'm already working with the horses, or I'm already doing a book tour, you know. And I do plan on writing a book, something about healing. I'm just not sure what it is yet, since I haven't done as much work yet as what I know I need to do before I'd write a book about it.
Yeah, and, you know, and I do definitely see that happening too, and you know, taking the time to do it and knowing what's right for you. And I keep getting horse medicine, and even maybe that might be something about your book focus too, and working with them. And as you said, you question as to how, you know, but I do see you being a person that says, well, I'm going to find a way. And the more challenged you are, the more you take it on. And so you know, some suggestions could be vet assistant, some kind of helper, shelters. There's horse shelters. There's people that, you know, even want their horses to have some, just even attention, you know, some healing. You can offer services, and even if it's in exchange for other services that you need, just to get out there, just to get some practice. Find someone else who does it and ask if they'll be your mentor, if you can come along and watch them and learn, if you can give it a try. Even just going around horse auctions, that can be, for me, that's overwhelming. And if you're an empath, which I think you are too, that can be somewhere where you can connect with them, but also that can be way too much. And for me, I can't do it. In fact, the first one I went through a roller coaster of emotions and ended up buying 2 and keeping them for like 20 years. And so it's very, very hard, you know. So certain ways of connecting with them, but there's ones that you can go and work on and heal and practice and get to know and just kind of get out there. And as you do it, not only will you learn more, but you're also going to heal them, help them, work with that connection, because you have that. It'll give you that experience to see, you know, hey, do I like to do this? Do I like it? Do I enjoy it? Which I know you're going to very much. It'll help you to make the connections. If you go to places where there's horse people, you find some papers, especially if you do move to a new state, which I do see that. And I think you're going to just find those connections, and you're going to really get into that. You'll meet those people, find the horse places, look for the right, as I said, teachers, mentors, people that you can kind of learn from. And I see such a big thing with that. You do so many different things, but I think that's going to be something that you're going to be very drawn to and do amazing.
Oh, yeah, one thing that was very interesting, after I had spoken with you last, I woke up, and I don't know if it was earlier today or it was first thing in the morning or whatever. I don't remember anything about a dream, but as I was waking up, I saw myself working for someone, not as a job per se. I was an independent contractor, but I worked for, say, a handful of horse owners for people that had, for lack of a better term, the really big-name horses. They were either race horses, or they were in movies, or they were just very expensive horses that did a lot of kind of public work, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I was seeing them, and as I was coming out of that and I was waking up, I just thought, that looks like a whole lot of fun. How are you going to do that, And then again, it kind of came back to the books. It's like, all right, how long have you had these books done and they're not on a shelf yet? All right, we've got to figure out that way to get from point A to point B. So I think I don't know, it might be, I think a lot of people that are fairly intuitive pick up a lot of what I call psychic sludge in terms of, that programming that we get all the time. We're all faced with it every day, in and out. I need to work on letting some of that go, reprogramming myself, and maybe EFT, emotional freedom technique, or something like that would help. But clearing out that psychic sludge, and again, just focusing on, where you're going, what it is, where you feel you need to be.
Yeah, and you're great at that, You have done that. It's amazing seeing all the different stuff that you've done. You explore. You take on the adventure. And I
oh, no, the books aren't out there yet, and they've been written for a while.
Well, yeah, but see, that's the thing, is you've gotten that far. I know so many, including me, that, are still working on them and haven't finished them, or are, trying. And see, you've already finished a few, and you're working on more, and you're going to do more, but you're also leaving a legacy. You're leaving so much information. You're teaching people, and through any writing like that and sharing that, even if right away it doesn't get out there, as you said, it will be. And then even down the line and many, many years from now, that's what is so amazing. And I just really admire writers, because it is a very hard and a difficult thing. So much so. And it's an amazing thing, and it's such a gift to leave behind and to give to people, and to always, for many generations on. It's something that I think is so wonderful, and that so many want to do but don't actually do it. So I can just commend you so much for actually doing that. And they will get out there, and you've worked hard to get to where you're at, and so that's great, So see, so far, look at, you've wrote a few, and you're going to do more. You've worked with paranormal, which I find so very fascinating and interesting, and you do the mediumship, the stones, the healing, crystals, you do so many things, and that's so great that, you investigate, you try, and I think the horse stuff and the horse medicine, working with them, they've always been a spirit animal for you and always will be, and you've always had that deep love and that deep connection with them, and taking the stone work and all of your healing, because you just have these fire hands. Amazing.
Come back again.
Yeah. Well, and you do, and you are, and you're controlling them and learning and working with them, and sometimes, especially as being young, fire's an element for you, and we learn to work with it. It's mine too as well. I am fire, and I work with it, and the more you work with it, the more amazing it is, and it's so healing, and you've always had that, and you're growing into so much, especially you've worked so hard to get there, and so it's great to see that, and the stonework is just going to be wonderful and unique, different, because it's good to be different. It's good to try different stuff, and you're going to find those connections, and it's going to be a great move, and just kind of another thing of all those so many different things that you do and have done. Something else I thought I seen something about is dowsing, or did you do that, or?
Yeah, now I've studied that with a couple different people. There's a mountain man out of Virginia named Raymond, no D on the end, Raymon, Grace, and he's got a website and everything, and I don't know if he travels around quite as much as he used to, but he had traveled to Omaha, where I was living at the time, and studied with him a little bit. And I was fascinated by the dowsing, but at the same time, I was getting kind of a weird feeling like, yeah, this is very helpful, and it's definitely useful, but kind of in the back of my mind, I was told, but you don't need it. And then later I had a couple people I know that are pretty intuitive, and they said, you don't really need a lot of the tools. You just know. And I knew what they were talking about, because with me, again, I'm fairly clairvoyant, so I'll see the stuff in my mind's eye, or else I guess it's more of a clairsentience thing. I just know stuff. The information just comes through to me, but I don't always need, like, the cards or the pendulum to do the dowsing. But I'm glad that I studied it. I was very thankful to learn that, because I have a feeling we may be going back to that time, not necessarily where we have to be looking for water, like a lot of people used to do in this country. They take a dowsing rod and look where to drill for water, and we're successful doing that. But I just have a feeling that, and maybe it's something that I'll help point other people toward that instead of using it so much myself. But again, sometimes I feel that because I get the messages in other ways, I feel that if I do dowsing or use some of the other tools, sometimes I may be kind of shooting myself in the foot in a way, just because thoughts are so powerful and my emotions are so strong that sometimes I think I might be interfering with the tool, if that makes sense. Because I know sometimes what the answer is that I want, or I already feel what it is, but then I pull out the tool, and I think I might run interference with myself. Now, I use it a lot for other people, and I think it's still helpful for other people, but with my own issues and questions, I don't always do it so much. Even with, like, the Raymond and my Reiki Master Teacher, Rod, we're talking about, you can get your pendulum out or a pendant, whatever you've got to use to do dowsing, and, hold it over certain foods in a grocery store. I don't even do that anymore. I did for a while, but then I pulled it out one day, and the message I got intuitively was just, you already know. Don't even bother. You already know. You know you need this. You know that's not good for you. So just go with what your intuitive guidance, what the internal messages are.
Exactly, because that's how you get it the strongest, and I'm the same way, so I completely understand that. And like you said, you just know, always saying, I just know, or I know, because, yeah, that's how you are. And as you said, I completely understand the thing about how cards or certain things can be almost more distracting. You don't really need them. And I think it's the water element that you have such a strong connection with, too. And so you find it, you seek it, and it's great that you learn. See, that's so wonderful. You learn this, that, and everything, and then you pick through And I try to do that too, and I've always done that, and then kind of pick through. You know, you're fascinated and you explore, but yet you're more drawn to certain things. And you can do a lot of different things, but it's certain things that you just feel the need to do, or more that special connection, you know, with the stones, the rocks, the certain things. But you have the abilities to do the other, and you're interested and fascinated, but just not as much, but if it's needed. You know, so I think that's really great, and I love that about you, is you have so many different things, you know. Time out.
Yes. Time out.
Oh,
I need to check two things and take a song break, but I want to find out who is this hello, caller, who's that? You just heard a beep. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you keep getting unmuted somehow, and then I'll hear a clunk here and there, and then I go muted again. So that's Queen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll come back, and we'll get you on for reading. Is that why you're calling, or are you just listening?
Both.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll come back to Queen. So Queen is there for reading, and that looks like it. So you guys either get in queue, or we'll have one reading and get out of here. You know what I mean? In the meanwhile, I'm going to give you guys a break, and or you can continue your discussion. You guys are having a great discussion. But I'm going to mute you guys both so that you can go and do whatever you need to do, or do nothing. And I'm going to play a song, and then we'll come back and we'll take that caller. Let's see. I like this song. Okay, welcome back. I'm going to do a quick shout out and geez, and hang on a second. Okay, good. All right, okay, that's funny. Okay, quick shout out, and then we'll get the caller, and then we'll let these guys carry on their discussion, or we'll figure out what we'll do. So Carol, hi Carol, Carrie, for bringing your friends, thank you very much. Diana is our guest. Christy is the CJ is the artist formerly known as Christy. Dan, the man, how you doing, Dan? And Diane in Canada. Fellini, nice to see you back. Gifted Witch, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. We're here just about every night, and at this same time, so feel free to pop by whenever. Go friend my Facebook page, and then, but notices get posted every night right before the show, and the link, okay, and the call-in and everything. Heath is our song guy and our excellent helper and doorman at the at the show. There's a better word for that. Concierge. Christina, welcome also. Thank you for being here. Mary Margaret. That's Fairy Mary. And Sherry, how are you? Kimber is our excellent interviewer. And Sandy, Wildflower Wind. So here comes Kimber. There's Kimber. And here comes Diana. Hi, Diana.
Hello.
I said doorman. I'm sorry. There was better. No, like Keith is going to hate me forever now, probably. You know what I mean? Okay, so do you guys want to, or Diana, do you want to take this call quick, and then you guys can carry figure it out? Okay, you're on there, Queen. How are you?
I am grateful to be here. Enjoyed the conversation, the exchange of energy. Nice addition to what you're doing here, Chris, bringing your readers to another vibration. That's interesting. How are you doing?
I'm more than just a pretty face up over here, you know, Queen.
Well, I knew that, and I knew that in time, you know, this would be evolving more and more. So I'm not surprised. I'm just glad to be able to experience it. How's that?
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. So do you have a question then for Dianna? Or?
Do I have to have a question? Well, before, if I have to form one, I will. But I noticed her picture, very beautiful picture, and I enjoyed listening to her journey. And I heard her say something made me want to comment.
Oh, now you got muted. You've been getting unmuted all freaking show, and now you got muted. Go ahead. Is something interesting
about her saying that she regretted the fact that she had released her connection with the spirit world and her other gifts when she was younger. And I just wanted to say to her that she might want to readjust her thought process and wording of that. It's all there. It's just a matter of, pulling up or down the blind. Anyway, hi, Dianna. Hi. Hi. Is it Kimber?
Kimber, like Kimberly.
Kimberly. I know her. I just wanted to be sure. I enjoyed her interviewing her. Hi, Dianna and
Hi, Queen. Thank you very much for calling in tonight.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Nice surprise.
If you've got a suggestion for me on changing that thought, I appreciate hearing it because, like I said, that has been my challenge or my opportunity is to shift my thoughts so that I am more productive with my abilities.
Well, just do it. I mean, be like Nike. Just just adjust it. The fact is that you did the best you could. You were a child, but have no regrets because, like I said, pulling up the blinds or pulling them down. And if it is in your best interest, those gifts will return, or this or something better. And knowing that, and being open to receiving, because things transform. And what we did yesterday is not necessarily the best for us to do today. And, there's a plethora.
Oh, you got muted again. Jesus. Go ahead.
There's a plethora of possibilities of gifts and talents to experience. And as we evolve, they shift. They mutate into something else that is better for us at that particular time and space. So that's my offering for you, for your shifting of your thought. And don't speak that to yourself anymore.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense. I heard it get cut off.
No,
okay,
she's still there.
Okay.
I'm here. We're all here. Nobody's talking. That's all.
What can I help you with tonight, Queen?
Whatever comes forward from either one of you would be greatly appreciated.
Okay, well, I tell you, when I first heard your voice, when you first called in, I was just seeing some energy just swirling around you kind of frantically, and I said, okay, what's that about? And I was getting that there was something that could involve some money. It wasn't money generally. It was more kind of a specific, I'm not sure if it's a purchase or an investment or a particular job to take, but I was getting it with some specific thing that would involve bringing in some more money. But the main thing, I said, well, okay, what's important here? And what I was told was that you need to do some more research to get some more information because there are things you don't know yet that could make a difference in terms of you making the right choice. And it wasn't that I saw anything bad about it at all. The key was just, again, getting more information so you're more empowered so that the choice you make is going to work the best for you. Does that make any sense at all?
Sure. It makes sense, and it's leading me to, I am writing again.
Good for you.
And I'm So could that be what it is? Because it's very strong with me now. So could that be what you're speaking of?
It could be, especially if you've got some type of concern about it. I don't want to say worry because it's not that strong, but it is more than just a passing thought too. That you're concerned about it and you just want to get some more information because what else? I'm being told things aren't quite always what they appear on the surface now. There's a lot of stuff kind of in the underbelly that when you dig and you get some of that out, you're going to be rewarded in some way in terms of the work or the decision that you're going to make.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I have done some research in terms of, I heard you speaking about your books that you have that's already written. In terms of, because my choice of putting my work out there in terms of like a so-called book, I would rather it be an audio book. That would be my ideal choice. But in my research, it was like to get on Amazon, which is the place to be.
Hey, Queen.
It has to be, yes.
Can you either come closer to the phone? Nobody can hear you except those of us that are right on the phone with you. No one in the chat room can really hear you.
I can't come any closer. I don't have my regular earpiece in. I have that old-fashioned earpiece.
Can you talk right into the phone like the good old-fashioned days?
Close.
Okay. Never mind then. I don't know. We can't hardly hear you. But go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my phone to maybe where it has a better reception, it has more bars.
Okay, she just got muted again, I think. I'm going to turn up the volume on my mixer, and maybe that'll help you guys out. Except Kimber and Dianna will probably blast your ears out. So with us, Queen.
Can you? Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to get more.
Oh, we had you. You keep getting muted. That's a problem. Okay, go ahead.
And well, in terms of the.
Okay, keep pressing 1. When you hear a beep in your ear, press 1, because I can't keep up to it. If you hear a beep in your ear, press 1 on your phone. Okay, that's not working. Queen, when you hear a beep in your ear, can you just press the 1 on your phone? Because I can't keep up to it. Unless it cuts you off. Oh, Jesus, it happened again. Okay, unless it cuts you off mid-sentence, I can't tell. This is really crazy. Anyway, go ahead. I'm going to shut up.
Is this any better? The volume?
Yeah. Way better.
Wait, yeah, I have more bars on my phone. I moved to a better area.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that could help.
Better.
Queen?
Yes?
This is Dianna. Just as you were talking, I was getting another message for you that as you're doing your research, the strong signal was go wherever the information takes you. Because I saw you might kind of go off in one direction and you've got kind of a focus, but then you might find some information that might sound a little off the wall and you might still be kind of focused on something else, but the message is go where the information takes you because you're going to kind of come full circle around where you need to be and you'll get all the information you need. So even if it looks like you're getting off on this wild tangent, go with it, at least for a little while, and just see what more information you get. Because what I see, it's kind of like a jigsaw puzzle, and you're going to get little pieces here and there. And even if it sounds kind of crazy, if you follow it, you're going to keep getting more information to get you where you need to be.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's just the way I
Okay, even if it seems really wild, kind of go with it.
I will.
Oh my God.
Wow. Chris, I know it's annoying you, so I'm going to just listen. I'm going to listen, and hopefully when I call in again, I'll have my regular earpiece in it. You know, we won't have this challenge.
Oh, I can hear you. The challenge now is just the system keeps muting you. I mean, unless you're accidentally bumping the one button, then the system
It's not me.
I know, and before you came on, it kept unmuting you. I'm all like, what the hell? Let's pretend, like, I don't know what to do anymore. But anyway, that happened to me the other night. We just have to roll with it. But it helps when the caller can just push their one themselves if they know they've been muted, because I don't have to chase it down then. But if you want, then if Dianna has any more to give you, then she can just like tell you while you listen and whatever. You know what I mean? By this point, it don't matter if you guys want to keep talking and push through the. Of course, all this time while I'm talking, you're not getting muted at all. You'd be whenever you start to want to talk or something like that, and so. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. You guys do whatever you want to do.
Well, Dianna, if you have anything else to say to me, I will listen. And if not, that's good too. I'll listen to you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting, as long as you keep following where the information takes you, that you're going to get some pretty fast results in terms of what you need to know to keep moving forward with what you're doing. And that money is going to be coming in. It may not be right away, but I think a lot of that is just because you need to get some more information so you can contemplate and really make the decisions that are going to feel right, feel the best for you. Because you may come to some conclusions where in your thought you're thinking, oh yeah, that sounds good, or because of this, that, A, B, and C, then yeah, D seems like the logical answer or the best answer, but you're really intuitive, so you kind of know when you have to hang back a little bit from the thoughts and kind of wait and just discern, let that feeling come in or whatever your signals are for your intuition, because they are going to come there. It just may not be an instantaneous thing in terms of what the next move that you make, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Life is a puzzle for sure, and I'll put the pieces together to the best of my ability. So all is well, and it's nice to know that more money will be flowing toward me. And now that you said about money, is there any suggestion on what to invest in? How to make it grow, multiply, and grow?
I think that may be part of the research, because the word that just, as you were talking, it was given to me in quotes, was just patience. It is coming, but there's like some more work you've got to do, not only in terms of the research, but as you do that research, I get the feeling you're going to see that there's some more work that you're passionate about already, but you haven't really thought about doing it in terms of making money with it. And I'm not sure if that means it's a hobby or if it's just something that maybe has been kind of a new interest to you, but it's something that you haven't really thought about yet in terms of, again, bringing in money, but there are other options out there yet that you need to consider. And once you do that, I think that new interest is going to touch on some of the other things, whether it's the book or something else that you're working on to bring in more money. I see the jigsaw puzzle again, and the pieces just kind of all coming together. It's just that you need to get some more information yet so you can put the pieces together.
When you said patience, I understand patience, wait or move slowly, that kind of thing. But what I got from that was patience in terms of like you becoming a healer and having patience.
Oh, there you go. There's some of your research then.
Yes.
And what is going to be the best way for you to do that? Yeah, I get a real strong feeling on that. I just see you kind of taking that ball and running with it.
Yes. It has crossed my mind and my spirit. I have a challenge, or have allowed myself to be challenged by only wanting to, and I'm only, that's all I want. People that working with people who I am harming.
There you go.
You lose her?
That's not. I'm here.
She's back.
Okay.
Working with people who have even though they may come to me for healing and help messages, however the healing comes about, that there be a connection that is harmonious for both of us. I don't want to take random, just haphazardly allow persons into that vibration with me because of where I'm at. And are you feeling anything on that? That is where I'm at in terms of taking in patients, in terms of working with people. And there has to be a strong connection. They know what they've come to me for, and they're willing to work on themselves. I am willing to give them what I.
Well, what's interesting, what was coming through when you were talking, I was getting a real strong feeling about the healing work, and I just saw this group of people, and I couldn't quite make them out, but some of them were gentlemen with really long hair, and the words white brotherhood came through loud and clear, and I've read about them years ago, and I can't remember now if that was Jesus and a number of other people or who exactly was in it, but that if you look that up, you might find a book. It might just be an article where there's some healing connection with what they did that is a little piece of your puzzle. And I wish I could remember more who was in that group, but I just remember that there was a lot of healing information there with them.
You know, that's interesting that you said gentlemen or male, and that today I just received validation, a certificate. I came almost 40 years plus ago out of a temple that was all male, and it was not an easy journey by no stretch of my imagination, nor did I know what I had embarked upon. I had no idea. And I've come reconnected with that energy in the past few years, and today it was like came totally full circle. The pieces were so there is something there. I thank you. I will look for the White Brotherhood. I think it goes back to Egypt, to Kemet. That's what my feeling is, because that's my connection with them. And I thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And like I said, I wish I could remember more about it, but it's been so long since I read about it. But Spirit just gave me that so strongly that I know there's going to be, I don't know if it's going to lead you to a book or a certain person to study, but there's some piece of the puzzle that you need from the White Brotherhood. I'm just not sure what it is, but I know you'll find it.
Michelle, and I thank you. And it was interesting hearing about, again, like I said, about your journey and listening to the interview. I'll continue to listen.
Thanks for being here tonight, and thank you for calling in.
Oh, it was
happy
really my
holidays,
pleasure.
just you celebrate them, and Happy New Year and everything there, Queen.
Oh, thank you. Same to all of you.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. Okay, you guys are on. It's your show now.
Hey, Kimber.
Hey. Hi. I've just been enjoying you so much. You're just awesome.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you. Now, did you have another question about paranormal research? I feel like you said something, and I may not have come back to that.
Yeah, well, I've kind of been all over the place because I get so much with you that that I jump around.
You're not
yeah.
supposed to be interviewing her.
Yeah, I know. I just, it's amazing. She just does so many things, so I have so many questions, and I find you so fascinating. You're just great. I do have questions. In fact, I was just thinking about that when I was listening to you talk to Queen, who's wonderful. I have many questions about the paranormal. I think it's very amazing that you do that, and I see that as just been really a lifelong connection with you and the spirits. So what kind of drew you into that, and have you done like some paranormal investigations? Do you find it really fascinating to go to certain places? Because I know that can be drawn where there's spirits. And as I heard you mention portholes, I can just see you being really connected with that and drawn to that. I am as well. And I find that really fascinating, the paranormal, the supernatural. And can you kind of touch on what you do and what you've done and what kind of led you there? What part of your path?
Yeah. Well, I guess I've, again, because of the spirits that were around me that were not human at all. I mean, I've always known there was paranormal stuff and that it's always existed, so that's never been a question for me. But again, you know, like everybody, I get sucked into a certain point to the system. It wasn't until, it was about 2 years ago. The main reason I got sucked into a paranormal investigation group was it was a cold Nebraska night. I had cabin fever, and I had met with another paranormal group. I guess they'd done investigations years ago, but they hadn't for a long time, and they were just kind of a social group. They met once a month, and I wasn't going to go, but there was this woman there I'd talked to before, and she was pretty empathic and interesting to talk to, so I thought, well, she might be there. I'm going to go. I've got cabin fever. I got to get out of here. So I went out, and I was talking to her, and she said she was frustrated because she actually wanted to do a paranormal investigation. And I thought, well, okay, I don't know if I want to take it that far. Maybe I do, but there's all that extra psychic protection work you got to do, blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of questioned my interest, but, again, it was winter, and I was rolling with it because I just wanted to get out. And sure enough, I met this woman later, like about a week later. We were going to have dinner and just kind of talk about it. Well, it was really interesting because we met at this diner to talk about it. I'd gone back in to use the restroom. I come back out, and she's talking to about 3 or 4 different people. And I said, oh, who are your friends? And she said, I just overheard these people, and they're talking about getting a paranormal investigation group started. Do you want to go to their first meeting next week? I said, sure, why not? So I did, and it was really fascinating, and I met about 4 people that I was just really intrigued with. And I'd gone back to the group and for some other meetings. And the woman who was leading it, I did not get a malevolent vibe from her, but I didn't get, it was a real chaotic vibe. It wasn't organized, and it was kind of controlling. And I thought, okay, I may not be here very long, but, you know, we'll go a couple more times. We'll just kind of see where it goes. Well, then it turned out within the week this woman had created all of these different rules and things, and it was very rigid in terms of investigation. Well, right away a number of people sent an email response saying, you know, I wish you well, but I don't feel comfortable, you know, working with these rules, so good luck. And I thought, oh, well, the woman who had sent the email had not blocked her recipient list. And I thought, okay, now who are these people's names that I liked, you know? And I found them all there, and I sent an email to each one, just short and sweet, saying, you know, I don't want to work with that group either, but I'm still interested in doing paranormal investigations in this area. Would you be interested? All 4 of them said yes. And so we set up a meeting, and we've done, I don't even know, maybe 10 investigations already, a number of them, just in a relatively short period of time. And I guess what draws us to it, there were a couple times we would go out because a member of the group would say, oh, I have a neighbor or a friend of a friend said they were having a problem in their house, with a ghost or whatever. And so we would go out there. We hadn't been meeting very long, and we actually had a chance to drive, I think it was about a 3-hour drive to the Sandhills of Nebraska, this really beautiful area, pretty remote, and we cleared a lot of spirits from that house. In fact, I had spent the night there, and I was talking to the woman who lived there, and we could hear voices, like in the next room, and it sounded like there was a party going on. We heard all these conversations, but they were overlapping, so we couldn't really make them out. And I said, you hear that too? And she said, oh, yeah, that goes on all the time. I hear that every day. And I said, okay, that's fascinating because it sounds like they're having a party. And she said, well, they are talking more now. I'm wondering if they know that we're talking about them. And I said, yeah, that's kind of intuitively what I got too. They're kind of wondering what was going on. Well, we did a number of clearings there, and the woman said they hadn't had any problem. Those voices were all gone. There were a couple places in the basement where one gentleman and I, we cleared some really dark stuff out of there, and then we left, and the other half of the team came down there, and they found another really dark place in the basement, and they cleared that out. So we've just had some really fascinating experiences. What we like to do is use some of the equipment that's out there, and I have one piece of equipment now. I think it just says ghost meter on it, but it just measures the energy changes. And then there's another gentleman that has an EVP machine, and we've had all kinds of interesting messages come through on that. And then we take photographs, and sometimes we'll see orbs or different spirits on that, which we don't see at the time we're taking them. But then we also, in addition with whatever equipment we've got, everybody's very intuitive in different ways on the team, and so we'll use our intuition as well. And then there's one gentleman, Chris Jacobs. He does quite a few different radio shows, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he will then place our investigations on his YouTube channel. And the group is called SAGE. It's SAGE. It stands for Society of Alien and Ghost Experiencers. And we'll go anywhere if somebody needs a clearing, and we don't charge for the service. Obviously, if someone wants us to go halfway across the country, they're going to have to pay to get us there. But just to do it, we don't charge for that because we just want to help clear the energy, and make that better. But yeah, it's been really fascinating. And actually, the last one I did was, it's getting to be close. It's probably been 3 or 4 weeks, close to a month ago, and it was totally spontaneous. I was coming back from a Thanksgiving celebration, and I was in Iowa on the interstate, and my friend said, would you ever want to do a paranormal investigation of any of those covered bridges? And I said, are you talking about the bridges in Madison County? And he said, yeah. And I said, yeah, well, I don't know where Madison County is. And he said, well, we're in it. And I said, okay, sure. And he said, well, we could do one now if you want, because there's one, there's an exit coming up pretty soon. I said, sure. So we picked one of those bridges, and I'd already done some research on those before, and knew one that was allegedly haunted or had a lot of activity on it. And so just spontaneously, we didn't have any equipment with us, but we just used our intuition, and I took a bunch of notes, and that was a really, really interesting investigation, too. And, again, that was just a spontaneous one. Sometimes we have to plan weeks or a couple months in advance, depending on where it is, contact the property owners, because sometimes they solicit us. Other times we'll pick a place and think, That sounds really interesting. You know, I wonder if I could get that movie cinema guy, owner, to let us go into that old theater type of thing. So, yeah, we just kind of brainstorm on where to go. And there have been a couple of us that have had some health issues going on just real recently here in the last month or so. And so we haven't done anything for a little while now with the holidays coming up. But right after the first of the year, of course, I'm already thinking about, all right, I want to do at least one investigation a month. Let's get going. Let's plan this. Where are we going to do this? Because, you know, if we need to get permission, we need to plan the time to do that. So, and the group one we did that was planned, it was one of the more eventful investigations we've ever had, because we were on this county road in Otoe County, Nebraska, and it's actually County Road L, but the locals know it as Seven Sisters Road, and it's called that because a man allegedly over a century ago took each one of his 7 sisters and hung her from a different tree along that road. And wow. So we went there, and some of the things that we'd read about, weird things that happened there, actually occurred. But the most unusual thing and the most fascinating thing to me that occurred out there was we saw a UFO. 3 out of the 5 of us that were on the investigation, 3 of us saw a UFO right shortly after we got on that road. And I thought, wow, what are the odds of that, you know? And then right after we saw that, there was a lot of ambient light in 2 different places in the sky. And we had done this on the new moon, which is the darkest night of the month. And yet there was ambient light in these 2 different places in the sky, and we were out in the middle of the country. There was no town around it to create the ambient light. So we didn't know if maybe the UFO had gone off behind a cloud or cloaked itself in some way. We didn't know what happened. But I found that to be the most fascinating part of that paranormal journey. But also, all of us had gotten out on a number of places on the road. We'd intuitively say, okay, the energy feels funky here. Let's get out and investigate. Or somebody would see something, and we'd pull over. And all of us were out of our vehicles. There were 5 of us and 2 vehicles. And we'd left the motor running. It was starting to get kind of chilly. It wasn't cold like it is now, but it was starting to get chilly, so we left the cars running. And we were out there, and one guy had his EVP machine, and he was getting a lot of feedback on that. Well, out of nowhere, we heard this woman scream. And we all looked in the same spot, and I said, I heard a scream, and a number of other people said I did too. And we did a survey. 5 out of 5 of us heard it. And I said, all right, where did everybody hear it coming from? And we all pointed in the same direction, and it was just open field. No buildings, no vehicles, nothing, just open field. And then a little bit later, the headlights on both vehicles went out. And then shortly after that, simultaneously, both cars died. And they both started up again right away, but it was just kind of funky stuff like that. Whereas other investigations, yeah, we'll notice some interesting stuff. We might see some orbs or something funky might show up on a photograph. But that audio, hearing that woman screaming, that was the first time something like that had happened. And then the cars dying simultaneously. I was kind of in a hurry to get back into the vehicle at that point. And I had intuitively sensed a man spirit just outside the vehicle door where I was. And I asked my friend, I said, do you feel anything over here on this side of me, just outside the door? And he said, no. And I said, well, I definitely do. There's definitely a male spirit there. It's not overly malevolent. I'm not getting it's a demon or it's trying to get us or anything, but at the same time, I'm not really comfortable with it either. But, yeah, and that was all just that one investigation on that county road. So it was very interesting. And there was one woman, in fact, it was the woman who initially got me interested in the paranormal group, she was unable to go that night. So she's kind of hoping we might go back in the spring and do that. And I'm definitely open to that since it was so active. I'm thinking, well, if it was like that in the autumn, maybe we should go back in the spring and just see if there's some more information to experience there to dig up.
Yeah, that is just amazingly fascinating and so much energy there. It almost feels like a Bermuda Triangle, but spiritual.
Yeah.
You know? But it has that just so much energy like the Bermuda Triangle. It feels like a portal. It feels like a, not only, like you said, there's aliens, there's spirits, there's so much activity of all kinds there. It's a place you must go back. You're drawn to go back, and your friends and companions as well. And I just really, really see it being an amazing adventure. And as you said, you're such a brave soul. You're just so adventurous. You're not scared, but yet you know spirits, and you know when they are malevolent and when they're good, when they're bad, when they're scary, when they just feel odd or different. And so trust that, because you're very good at reading them, and people as well, and even animals. But you have that with spirits, and you just know, as you said, when it just doesn't feel right, and even if they're not really bad, they're just ones you don't want to be around. So keep that in mind as well when you're out there. But I do see you going back there, and I think it's going to be a great adventure, and you are so adventurous, so it's on your to-do list. And I just see you doing it.
Yeah, I think we will definitely go back, because I think I'm not the only one that's interested. There is, I don't know what it is about the area, but there is a lot of energy there.
It is. I kept getting Bermuda Triangle in a way that, it sucks you in, and it's so different, and there's so much energy and of all kinds. And I do see you going back there, and I kept getting spring. As you were talking, I kept getting spring. So when you said spring, I do feel it is going to be that. And so I think that's really great. It's going to be a wonderful adventure. Be prepared, like you said. It's kind of scary, creepy, but fun and good, and you're drawn to that. And I know how that feels. It's like, ooh. And yeah, as you said, you have friends that want to go. I think that's great that you do this and that you've done this. And
yeah, anybody who wants to go with us is welcome to come. We like to, now that we've been doing it for about a year and a half, we had one new member with us to go out on that county road, and we even set up a meetup group for it, Sage, Nebraska. And we just ask, or we try to meet with people ahead of time just so we can tell them a little bit about what we've done and how we do it. So if they're not very far in terms of working with their intuition, or, if they still kind of question whether it's aliens or ghosts, whatever, we kind of want them to know where we're coming from. So if they're feeling uncomfortable, we don't want to put them in an uncomfortable place, because we may not be the group for them. If it's somebody that's like really out there and, oh no, I've been working with the Dracos, I've been fighting them, and these are the Greys and blah, 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 in different alien groups, then we know, okay, yeah, you can handle it. Because we just don't know what's gonna come up. I've been really amazed as I've gone through this. Again, it was just kind of an afterthought for me when I got started, because I had cabin fever a couple years ago, but now I'm so glad that I followed through with it, because it's been a really amazing, rewarding experience. But I've been amazed that I really haven't been that frightened. Now, after we heard the scream, we were kind of all thinking, all right, let's get back in the car and maybe move a little further down the road. But it wasn't I'd read different accounts where people had heard women's screams and things like that, and I thought, wow, how would you handle that if it happened? Well, it wasn't like a blood-curdling scream. It didn't terrify me, and I guess that really amazed me, that I wasn't that scared. It was like, oh, wow, I was more interested than I was frightened.
Yeah, you are. You're more fascinated, and it's hard to explain that almost frightened feeling, but not. More of a fascination, more of an interest, more of a, you have to look, you have to see.
Yeah.
As scary as it can be to others that would turn and run, you would run towards it. Like me, you're more fascinated with it. And you know what? When you're there, be prepared, because you are going to end up meeting and seeing one of them. And it's going to be one with long, dark, black, flowing hair and a long, white dress. And you are going to hear a scream, but you're not going to be afraid. And others are going to be, that are going to be with you, but you have an amazing team. But
I wonder go ahead, sorry.
You're going to have a connection.
Well, I'm wondering if that was the one I saw, because the person that I was riding with, he saw a man in a black suit and a vest, and he wasn't sure if that was the gentleman that killed the sisters or not. But I said, well, that's interesting. And he actually, I don't know if it was apparition, but it was more physical. He saw it. In my mind's eye, as we were driving down the road, I saw a woman. I couldn't tell what color her hair was. It was swept up, but she was wearing a white dress, and it was sort of right before the Art Deco era. It was more that Gibson girl phase, where it was like 1900 to 1920 type period. Yep. And her hair was kind of pulled up, but yet it was very loosely held, so it kind of draped down too in a stylish way. Yeah. And I'm wondering if you're picking up on that same woman, and I'll make more of a connection with her.
You're going to. She's going to seek you out because she knows that you have the abilities. And of your group, she's going to pick you. And it is the same one. And this time, I don't know if her hair's down more or what, but I see her, I picture her, and she's going to come to you. So, and, just be open to it. And I'm
a little scared, Kimber.
I know, I feel it. And that's what I feel it. And I completely relate to that, but just think of me when it happens. And just think, no, that I said you're going to be okay, and that go with it. Go with the flow. Feel her. She's not as scary as it seems, and that's because she has a strong presence. And she did before, but it is the same one, and she wants to connect with you again and be open to it. And I'm scared in that scary, fun, cool, this is going to be exciting way, because it is, so, but the hair is going to stand up on you, your arms, you're going to get goosebumps, you're going to feel it, but it's going to go with it. Just, like that very first roller coaster ride you ever took, it's going to be exciting.
Yes. Well, I'm hoping she shares some information, because we were all a little disappointed. We get certain feelings and see images, but we kind of want to know more of the story, and we haven't even been able to get the family name yet. And before we went on this, one friend, member of the group, we had gone out to this really old cemetery to see if we could find like 7 names, same last name, kind of all buried together, like the 7 sisters, and we didn't find anything like that. So we don't even have a name to go on to kind of get more information. And maybe that's what this woman will tell us. Now, when I sensed her on the road before, I really wasn't scared, because it was just kind of a flash, and she looked very happy. And so I don't know, maybe she didn't know that I had picked her up at that time, or she was reflecting on an earlier time before she was killed. But it wasn't scary then, but I have a feeling I might be making a much stronger connection this next time. And I'm hoping, though, if we do, that we do get part of her story.
You're gonna. And see, she wants to connect with you to give you information and to let you know. And she did connect with you before, But it was briefly in what you were ready for, and this time you're going to be ready for more. It is going to be a little bit scary, a little bit different, but just go with it, accept it, be open to it, and just feel the rush. Basically, just feel it. And for some reason, I don't know, I get Lydia, Lilith, and Al. It almost feels like a Lydia or a Lilith. But she's gonna give you her name if you just really, really. It's almost like it's wrote in the dirt. Like she's gonna take a stick and write it in the dirt. I don't know.
You know, I kind of think I'll have to look in my notes. I was kind of thinking I had a Lydia or some other type of L name like that too. Okay, but again, it all happened like in a flash.
Yeah, and it does come quick. That's why make sure you have a notebook with you so you can take notes, because it is going to come fast, and she is going to give you information. Also, when you sleep that night, too, she's going to come to you in your dreams. She wants to connect with you. She wants to tell you her story. And you know why she seems so happy is because she knows you can connect with her. And that's why before, when you seen her, she was happy. She was smiling. She's at peace with what it is. She understood it. It is a family drama, a family issue. It was something that was an extremely difficult and hard thing. And there is just a huge background and story to it. And I think you're going to get fascinated, and you're going to want to learn a little more and almost journal about it. But, yeah, Lydia, Lilith, Lydia, something like that. Don't be afraid when she comes, because I feel that, and I feel almost that fear, but excitement fear. So look at it as a really good and amazing opportunity, and that is such huge energy there. So you're going to be almost like just a super high, an amazing feeling. You're going to get the goosebumps in the hair. When she comes, you're going to know. You're going to feel it. I don't know if others are going to see her, because you do have an amazing team, a good team that you pick out together and work, the teamwork. I keep getting teamwork, so I think that's just amazing. But you're going to really get a lot of information with her, and she's going to share her story. She wants to share it with you.
Oh, great.
So,
I hope we get a name so we can do more research on that, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure records of certain things of the family. Maybe not the tragedy, but, other things to put pieces together.
Yeah, and it would be really interesting if you can look up at the library or property records. It almost feels, like finances, property issues. It was a financial thing, and then kind of a murder-suicide type thing because financial issues or something. I'm kind of really curious to find out myself, too,
Welcome to come with us if you want to come to Nebraska.
That is just an amazing, and thank you for the offer. And I'm so fascinated with this because it's just amazing energy there. And I think she has quite the story she's going to tell you and share with you. So, and I think kind of about it. And I think it's going to give her the peace, too, and she really feels that connection. And you have always had that with the spirits, and you have a very strong mediumship, and I think that's why she singled you out. And the EVPs you mentioned about, is there going to be some kind of machine there? Because I think she's also going to try to give you that, too.
Yeah, I think the guy who's got the EVP machine will be there. And I was just going to say, what was really fascinating, this man that has the machine, the EVP, he was talking to a man, and he was trying to discern whether or not it was the man that hung the sisters. And a lot of times with EVP machines, as you know, you get a lot of static, but you can sometimes pick out words and stuff. Well, he asked, what is your name? And he played it back for us, and clear as day, there's no static. You hear this strong Rick. And we all got goosebumps when we heard that. And again, we're not sure if he was the killer or not, or if he was just somebody else had a connection with that road. But hopefully that's something this woman will be able to tell me, if that was who did it or not. But I was just fascinated. We all were, because we've worked with EVP machine now for, a year and a half. We've been working together. And just to hear that name so clearly, I thought, wow, this is a sign for something.
Yeah, and it is. And so, yeah, that's amazing and interesting. I just really feel that you're going to be drawn to the story, and you're going to want to find out, and especially after seeing and talking to her again and connecting with her spirit. And, yeah, I do feel that he is a part of that. And it's amazing what you can pick up with them EVPs. Chris has done them before, and in fact picked up a mutual friend who had passed away years ago and committed suicide, and he was a friend of mine, and she had picked him up in one of the shows, and he said my name. And
wow.
Very clear. I mean, and my name is different, and he actually, you could hear it. It's very, very clear. He says my name and some other stuff, too, that was very, very interesting, and I know it was him. And we had even talked before it had happened about that he would always make the connection. We said whoever goes first, we're going to make sure we let each other know. And it just happened.
And he kept his word.
He did. He did, and he still does. He comes around, and I see him very often. And but it's amazing what they can pick up. But that was a very good example, and I think you're going to get some, so that would be great if he has that machine, and I think you're going to get a lot, so be ready. It's going to be quite the adventure. It's going to be a lot of fun, and don't be scared, because trust yourself, because you have worked with both the good and the bad spirits, and you know the difference. And I feel you do journeys. I don't know if you're into shamanism, or you do journeys, or if it's something. A
little bit. I've attended some shaman drumming circles.
Okay, because I feel that with you, and that's something that I do and have done, and have a strong interest, and I feel that connection with you, and I feel that, and so I think that's going to help you with that, and there too is some of the where you don't have the fear, you have more of the interest, and because we'll do that, and we'll go on that journey, and we're not afraid, and we know what we can do, and how to handle all that, and so I definitely think that you not only read people and animals, but you read spirits, and so you're definitely going to be safe. It's going to be a very fun and interesting, and I don't think it'll be the only time that you go back. I think you're going to go back this time, but you're going to go back another time as well eventually. And it is such an amazing, just like I keep getting Bermuda Triangle. It's so much,
I think there's a lot of stuff going on in that area, not just this particular family story. That's why sometimes I think, okay, I need some help so we can discern, to get this particular story, and then work on other stories potentially later.
Yeah, because, and bring a notebook and journal and come back and share, because it's just going to be amazing. And yeah, you have seen and felt the alien connection as well. And there it is. It's just amazing. There's many, many different things. It's just a huge, huge energy draw of all kinds. So it's going to be quite the adventure.
I found it staggering. We had both the aliens and the ghost spirits on that relatively remote county road in Nebraska that night.
Yeah, and I've been through Nebraska, and it almost has a creepy kind of feeling to begin with, even during the day. It does, doesn't it? Just the whole, I don't know, the whole place just there was like no birds, no animals. It was just really odd. Maybe it was the place that I went through, but it just was really different, the whole feel, the energy about it. And so I know that especially that state just has a lot of just really odd in different places, and that's.
Do you remember what county you might have been in?
I'm not sure. I know we did go through Omaha, though.
I was going to say, Omaha has a very different vibe, and sometimes it is that, I mean, so many things are in plain sight, and I do often get that aha feeling sometimes when I'm there. I can tell the energy. When I drive from Lincoln to Omaha, my friend will say, do you feel the shift yet? And I'll tell him when I can feel the Omaha energy, because it's so much lighter and mystical, magical than the Lincoln energy. The Lincoln energy is a lot more stagnant and heavy, clunky, whereas Omaha, it's not like it's totally free and easy and everything, but compared to most of the other energy in Nebraska, it is a lot better.
Yeah, it was really different.
I know, one time I went to hear a speaker who flew in from L.A., and she said she could feel it when she got off the plane, and she mentioned the Om, aha, in the name, and she said, I could just tell this is where I needed to be right now, because the energy, there are so many people here that are ready for this stuff.
Yeah, it just had such a different feel about it, and it was just really odd, though, too, to me, because I'm so used to animals everywhere. And there was not, nothing, and there was hardly even any birds. And I would stop and pick up rocks all along the way. And when I did there, it just had a whole different feel compared to Colorado or Iowa or Minnesota or, Utah, the other states. Colorado was amazing. Oh, my goodness.
Really? Maybe that is where I'm supposed to go. Who knows?
You got to go. You have to go to Colorado, at least to visit. I'm telling you, that state is just, when I seen some of those mountains, I actually cried. I mean, it was so beautiful and overwhelming and felt so much energy that it's a very beautiful, amazing state. You have to experience it, and I do feel you drawn there. If nothing else, you are going to go there at least for a while. It may be the place you end up being. It's a very beautiful, beautiful, amazing state. Utah was nice too, but Colorado is just, it's an experience. An overwhelming experience. You've got to see it. You have to do that. That's got to be on your list. It has to be. You got to check out the mountains and experience it. And you're an adventurer, so I do see you doing that. That's going to be very great. And the feel of it there. And, there might even
feel it, because I haven't spent any considerable time there yet.
Oh, you're going to want to, and you are going to do it. I know you are. I just know. And it's going to happen, and you're going to love it there, and I think you're going to be drawn to even eventually moving there, but you for sure are going to go and visit and check it out. It's something you have to experience, that state. That is one that you have to. And you're just going to have an amazing time, and you are such an adventurous that you need to do that, and that is a place. And you've got to collect. You're going to be just like I was. I was collecting a whole van full of rocks and stones. I was filling it up because
I do that wherever I go. Do you do that too?
Oh, I always have some
rocks, shells, wherever I am. I take part of that nature with me.
Oh yeah, I have to. I mean, so bad, just drawn to it, and I'll leave tobacco and give thanks, and but I have to have stones and rocks. I've been like that since I was little, and I know I feel you're the same exact way. And you can go down a rock road, and you're called to certain ones, but it can be overwhelming because they're all so beautiful and they all have so much energy. And you pick that up too. You're like that. I even do stone readings, and I've always collected them, and it's almost an addiction. It's just something I connect with them, and I have to, and certain ones will call.
Well, yeah, we're drawn to the ones that we need, or else we're drawn to the ones that, have you ever then given them to somebody else? I feel like we're drawn to give certain ones to certain people or drawn to keep certain ones, but we always know which ones to pick.
Yes, exactly. And some have such special meanings. And I've been given ones even as gifts that just were ones that people have gotten along the way and then gave to me that are so special. And to me, I mean, a rock is even better than a diamond. I mean, it's better than so many gifts. To
the
me,
energy is so much more powerful.
It is. And it's one of the greatest gifts, that and bones. And people are like, what? But, yeah, stones and bones, and I'm good. That's better than flowers. Although I do like wine. But, yeah, stones are just so much energy. And I feel that you work with them in the elements as well. And so, yeah, you get drawn to them, and you can go in, and it's not always the most brightest, shiniest, beautiful one. It's what has that energy and what has that connection. And they do. They actually call to us. They can be in the river. They can be in a lake. They can be long ways away. And when you go on trips, I'm like that too. And when you go to Colorado, because you're going to eventually, and when you go to even this place where we were talking about, where there's spirits and where you connect with her, find a stone. When you do, look down, look around, and find it and keep it and bring it back and keep that energy. But it is an amazing connection. And even look when you do, because there is going to be one around. And they have certain meanings. They have their energy. They're a living thing. It's amazing what they can do. They're very healing. And I think that we're drawn to what we need or what others need. As you said, that is such a great point, because a lot of times it is for others, or for healing. I really just feel that you're going to do the stone healing. It's a very unique and a very different, as I do the bone readings, and you might even, and I do stone readings, you might even get into the stone readings, but you're definitely going to be doing the stone healing for both horses and people, and you have such a wide variety, and you do so many different things because you can.
I'd love to do stone readings. I would like to learn to do bone readings too, because the one and only one I had, I still remember some of the stuff from it, and I just really, when this woman was talking about it and the way they were laid out, it made perfect sense to me.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay.
See, it does, and you should. And I think that you're drawn to that, and there's a reason. So I think you've done them in a past life. That
wouldn't surprise me. I was drawn to it so much.
Yeah, and see, when you have that connection and when you feel that's part of your path and you have such a strong calling, then there's a reason. And so you should. Even if nothing else, like you've done with so many things, learn it, try it. I can help you. There's many things. You develop your own way. There's no real set way. For some there is, but I believe that we all have our own intentions, our own ways, we'll learn, we'll pick up things, but then we kind of create our own way, which is a really good way of doing it. Some believe it has to be done certain ways or certain. I feel that we do what's right for us, and so if you learn it, that's what you're going to do. You're going to pick up, and you're going to take bits and pieces, and then you're going to pick what's right for you and how you want to do it and explore it, and you're going to try it. And I think you should. You should do that, and also the stones, because you have that connection. And see, I do, and so I really, and I feel that, and I feel a strong connection with you. And I think that you need to try it. You should. And then from there, if you really enjoy it, you really like it, great. If not, hey, we're always learning. It's always good to learn. It's always good to explore. And you are so adventurous, so I do see that on your list. And you doing that.
We must talk offline, Kimber.
Yes, we are. And I did return your message just today. I have been having, like, really bad computer problems. I've had mine in...
I know what you're talking about. Sometimes I wonder if it's because of the psychic energy stuff.
I swear it is, because also I said, you know, which is going to sound really strange, but the other day I said about my computer was naughty and was being really bad, and that I may have to get rid of her, and then she died.
Oh.
So I had to bring her in, and I'm like, oh my God, you know, I'm not saying that no more, because that was like the last message I typed in, and she quit on me. So I was like, uh-oh.
How powerful the thoughts are, huh?
Yeah, I swear they do have energy, and they do mess with you, and mine's a girl, so she's really got some attitudes, you know. But, yeah, it was kind of odd how that happened. But I did return your message, and we for sure have to connect, and I so would love to help you with anything and everything. And I see you doing so many things. I just pick up just an amazing amount of energy with you. And I give you so much credit because you're such an adventurous woman, such a strong woman.
Thank you. I have to ask you, I kept seeing this vision after we talked of you in this area, and I don't know if this is where you live or where you want to go or what the connection is, but it looks like there might be mountains, but they're like kind of way in the background, but it's kind of hilly in this area, but it's just like kind of a farmland or a meadow, and there's a fence and some trees, and it's just beautiful and rural. And I just see you walking along it, and sometimes you spend time alone, and other times you've got animals with you. And I see one little girl, and I'm not sure if she's spirit. I think she's more physical, that you share this space with her. And it's this place where, who knows, it could be your happy place you need to go to just to meditate. But I see you just totally balanced and at peace whenever you're in this area.
Beautiful.
And there are horses, and there are other animals too, and they're more exotic. And I can't tell if there are a couple, either llamas or alpacas, and they look so much alike. I can't tell for sure which one it is, but it's like they all live in peace, and all these animals. Not a lot of people, but this little girl, you've got a special connection to this little girl. And who knows, it could have been you as a little girl, and you're reconnecting, you know, with your inner child. I don't know what it is, but I just see you in this beautiful land and just really feeling so at home and so at peace.
You know, that is such an amazing, very perfect for me. That is something, and what I think you're picking up is where I used to be. And I did have actually an alpaca, a llama, many horses, miniatures, and large horses, miniature
dogs there too?
What was that?
Were there dogs in the area too?
Yes, had dogs,
okay.
Had wolves. I had everything from peacocks, chickens, turkeys, goats, sheep. I had a little lamb, bottle-fed lamb. I had it all, but yes, an alpaca, llama. So, and I do see you picking, and I would walk through the woods. It was a place that I lived for many years. And very at home and at peace, and there was everything there from bear to raccoons to everything, and just woods, huge trees, and very connection to a little girl. Probably also it could be one that I physically was very connected with, or it could also have been me, because I've always been very, very connected with animals as well. And that's amazing that you picked that up, because that is nature and elements and animals and all that is my way to connect. Mother Earth, you know, that's all my grounding, my balance, as you said, my peace, my... Well,
and I see anytime you think of that area again, that then becomes your happy place. I just see you, like for some people it's chanting or a mantra or something, but with you just visualize that, and I just see you totally getting balanced out and just feeling so much better and just like complete and whole again. It's a very powerful place for you.
It is, and that's so beautiful, and that you pick it up. But I think we have a very strong connection, you and I. And you do pick that up. That is my happy place. And horses, I've always been the same. I've always had them, and most of my life, anyways, and been very connected to them and love them deeply. And they are my happy. I can't think of a happier place than to be on a horse or with a horse, or to have that connection and to ride. It's like flying. It feels like flying when you're going fast, and it's a beautiful and amazing feeling. And it is something that I do connect with deeply, and that's so funny that you even picked up my alpaca and my llama I had for many, many years. I had a very deep connection, especially with my llama. He was my baby for, oh my gosh, so many years. Kisses every day, hugs, just so much.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh, so much love. His name was Cricket, and he just was the sweetest ever. I loved him from the very first day I found him. I had to have him, and I got so many horses, and I got him, and I every day kisses, hugs, just such a huge special connection with him. And then an alpaca I had for many years too, Cosmo, and he had been a 4-H project of a young girl and who could no longer have him and take care of him. And I used to take in so many animals, and I had so many. at a time, I had, oh my gosh, probably close to 100 of all different kinds. And because people would be like, hey, let's ask her, she'll take them, and I would. I even had a potbelly pig. I had them all because I just couldn't say no. So I learned, but that deep connection, love animals, and I would heal them and help them and find them homes and keep many, and but as I said, I feel that you're the same way too. You have such a deep connection, especially with horses. So be careful with the auctions, because they can be very, very hard. I think you'll meet a lot of connections that way, a lot of horse people, but it can be really devastating. I know the first time I went, and I seen some good and some bad, and it was like a roller coaster of extreme happiness and falling in love, and also hurt and pain and crying, and seeing the meat market people and all that, and just the realization of what it really is, and seeing some hurt horses that were there, and it was an experience like I never could imagine. And as I said, I ended up going home with 2. I took 2 horses and went there to look and brought home 2, but I ended up meeting the owner, and I got one from him. He practically gave them to me for free and gave him a big kiss and hug.
Nice to be with you then. I need you to hold your phone away. I need to switch phones, and it's going to screech a minute, okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Anybody that wants to call in, to just call in and unmute themselves, so I don't know what more I can do. Deb, I don't know, you're sitting there.
What? Well, other people are talking. I don't want to talk when they're talking.
And then you can join in. That was the idea. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so...
what's on your mind?
Pardon me?
What's on your mind? Join in.
Yeah.
Oh,
baby.
nothing in particular. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi. Great. How are you tonight?
Good. I got home a little late from my commitment I had earlier, so.
Sure.
Yeah. Actually, you know how we inherit some things from our parents. Well, I couldn't believe it, but, I've been dealing with this lag mentality thing for God knows how long. And when I was talking to my mother on the phone on Sunday, I was saying, oh yeah, I needed to get to the store. I needed to get some more ginger tea because I go through it like crazy, I said. And she actually wanted me to use the tea bags more than once.
That's not new to me. I do.
You do, but I said, well, I don't always because, like, drinking ginger tea is, like, medicinal for me, right? So I want it as strong as possible, you know? But I've just been kind of chuckling to myself all day, like the kind of lack mentality that I'm trying to overcome from an ancestral place is just astounding. You know what I mean?
I can relate.
Like, can't I just enjoy? I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink coffee. My big enjoyment is my ginger tea, and I should really cut back on that, eh?
Ginger's so good for you, though.
I know. I drink a ton of it.
Yeah. Oh, full of energy. Doesn't it give you a lot of energy, though?
I think so, yeah. I really do. So good.
It does.
Yeah.
Amazing health benefits.
You guys were talking about computer problems, and, you know, I think it is the psychic energy, too. And, you know, I'm pretty sure this is black Abyssinian, and I put a piece of that on my computer.
Oh, good. That's good.
And it seems to somehow ground the energy out.
Yeah, that's a great idea. You know, that is. I love that stone. It's an amazing stone. And that is great. I put sage on mine. A lot of times I'll even just set leaves, you know, yeah, and I have stones all around, but I do have an amazing, beautiful obsidian that I was given, and so yeah, I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah, try it. You know what? It's been really good since I've had this here for a long time.
Ah, that's a great idea.
But before that, I was having some trouble, you know.
Oh, just terrible computer trouble. Internet, computers, just everything's been awful for quite a while.
Well, there's certain people I watch on Facebook Live, you know. Yeah. And I noticed today Facebook Live was just sucking big time. I don't know if it's my connection or if there's something wrong with it, because everybody I tried to watch today was just not. The stream kept interrupting and stuff, you know.
Yeah, just really hot energy, crazy, and mine has been messed up for a good couple of weeks. I've hardly even been on at all. Haven't been able to, and then when I have, it's just been briefly or with my phone, and I am such a slow texter with my phone. I'm terrible.
Really?
Yes, with the computer I'm bad enough, but when it comes to phone, I know people that can just punch out, you know, like paragraphs in seconds, and not me. It takes me forever.
Yeah.
So I just avoid it, you know, as much as I can. But yes, I miss my computer. I love them and I hate them.
Same here.
But I've learned you got to be nice to them or they'll be mean to you.
Yeah, you got to talk nice to them.
Yes, I've learned that. Don't tell them they're naughty and bad because they'll quit on you.
I put orgonite on mine.
Oh.
I bought an orgonite pyramid that's worked out pretty well.
Oh, yeah, and it's working good then, eh?
Yeah.
Huh. Have to try that. Something.
Yeah.
This has just been crazy, and I thought we just went into, I know Chris will laugh probably, but Mercury retrograde. Because I know Chris is always like, oh. But I sometimes wonder, though, because things just do go really hazy and crazy and different at times, and I don't know. But I just blame it on life in general.
Yeah.
You know, it's just shit happens, right?
I'm thinking I should maybe have black Abyssinian in my frickin' car, you know, like, I've had a few issues lately, like not with the running of it, but I was leaving an event and I caused damage by trying to get out of this parking stall in the parkade, and I had just had it in for an oil change, and I got this fuse fixed for my outlet because I need to charge my phone in there all the time because I'm so mobile, right? And if I use the GPS, it just eats up my phone battery, Well, they fixed the fuse and everything, and then it went again on me.
Oh.
Yeah, it went again. I plugged in the phone charger. The phone wasn't even attached to it, and it just went, So I don't know now what,
Oh.
Yeah.
Be something, ain't it? Just, views though,
Yeah, well, I looked it up and it says, there's a little wire in behind the cigarette lighters and all of this, and maybe it needs to be cleaned out and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to charge my phone. That's all I want,
Yeah.
So I thought maybe I should just buy a friggin' solar charger or something that I could have anywhere. Like I could have it, in my purse.
Yeah, that would be nice. Convenient, It could be the connection, the wiring, the connection just needs a little cleaning or something like that. But yeah, it's amazing what they have now. Like you said, the solar charging, and if it might be an easier way to go. Yeah.
I told my friend to get one because they go out, like up in the Arctic, they go camping in the summer, and they're out in the middle of nowhere. And I said, oh, this and that. And she said, oh, yeah, well, the phone died. And I'm like, oh, my God, well, we used to go out there without a phone, sure. But I said, well, why don't you guys get a solar charger? And I think they did. So I'll have to ask her how she found that it worked,
Yeah, it'd be worth a try because it's amazing the technology they have nowadays, and that might be something that's helpful. Otherwise, it could be a wiring issue, and if nothing else, you might be able to find a used part to replace it.
Pick apart.
Yeah, but the other might just be a lot less work and be a little more practical for you. But
who knows?
Yeah.
I just felt like everything was falling apart. I've got to get work done on the vehicle too, and that's going to cost $350. And I'm like, oh God, I'm just like, okay, this money's coming from somewhere. I just don't know where yet.
It will. It's hard to think sometimes where is it gonna, but it magically appears at times where it's something that we really, really need, and that's something that you do need help with, and you will. It'll fall into place, but yeah, it can be really difficult. And as you said, it just it seems like this year has just, especially this last month, has just been so much. Just almost ready for the year to be over and start new.
We have too far to go. Let's hope we all make it, eh?
I know, right? Don't it just seem like it's been a really trying year?
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of difficult and hard.
But don't we always say that every year?
Every year, yeah. Well, sometimes it's like that. It's like every year I start off and say, okay, this is going to be the good one. Like, I can feel it. This is going to be so good, right?
Yeah, but that's been like in my 20s and 30s,
I still do. I still try to start out that way,
That's good. And that's good, that's great. Think positive and do that, because it does. It seems like it was really a difficult year, even more so. Like Chris said, we do that every year, but it just seemed like this year was really hard, not just for me, but for so many. And then And then it's hard because it affects you when you see others go through so much, you know, almost more so than when it's yourself.
Yeah.
It's hard, and it's just been a really hard, trying year for so many, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to a new year and a new start, and it is going to be great. And there is so much, and as hard as it is, I think it's good to look back and go, but this and this and this went all great, and this is all good, and you know, look at the positive, like you said, that is very important, especially this time of year.
Yeah. Well, I woke up in the middle of the night thinking that I'd double booked myself today, you know? And I was just having so much anxiety. I got up and I said, I have to text this guy and tell him, you know. And then I was really anxious. And then finally I got up the courage to text him because I felt really stupid, you know. And I said, yeah, can we do that lesson tomorrow instead of today? Because I'm a little pressed for time today. And he said, I thought it was tomorrow.
You know, I think that's happening with many people right now.
Really?
It's confusing energy. Well, you know, the odd thing, too, is I never fall asleep early. Last night I fell asleep, like, really, really early. Very early, and then I woke up thinking that it was supposed to be last night that I was supposed to do this interview. And
right.
Oh no, I missed it, and I overslept, and that never ever happens to me. And I thought, oh God, Chris was thinking I didn't call in, you know?
Yeah.
And then I woke up and went, what? What's that all about?
Yeah.
But it just was really odd, you know. But
I think originally I had suggested to the guy Monday, you know. Yeah. And then I, in thinking about it afterwards, I realized that he had said no because the kid has something else on Mondays, right? So Tuesday would be better, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened was I had it stuck in my mind Monday, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You get so focused.
Yeah.
You keep thinking or, you know, and it's weird how the mind, when you get so many thoughts, can just kind of play tricks with you and just kind of make you think or how you start thinking about other things and it just, you know, as I said, I don't know why I even thought that, and then here it was tonight, but
yeah.
And then I never go to sleep early like that. I don't know what even happened and why, you know, but sometimes we have dreams and they can be messages or, you know, or even it'll come in songs, and a lot of times we kind of question and we think, and it don't make sense at the time, but then later on down the line it's like, oh, now that fits in.
You know, I often sleep in the afternoon, like late afternoon or early evening when I can. And I honestly think that I have better dreams in the daytime when I sleep.
Yeah. Yep, daydreaming. You know,
yeah.
Exactly. And it's whatever time you're open and, you know, ready to connect or things are meant to be, and sometimes it can be, you know, day, night, whatever time, and so that's good. And when you feel that need or you know, feel that just drawn to sleep, sometimes it's because we need to recharge or to download. You know how they say we can download at times, and I think we kind of do. You know.
Oh, I think I do that a lot when it's late afternoon. You know.
Yeah, I think you're downloading a lot. You're picking up a lot of information and bringing back a lot of things you already know. But sometimes it just takes that time, and dream time is a really good time because otherwise when we're awake we have so many thoughts, way too many thoughts, and too many things God, Yeah. And so dream time is a good time to learn, to download, to pick up.
The weird thing is I hardly ever remember my dreams. Like, I'll remember random things, at random times. But for years I tried sleeping with a tape recorder. I tried sleeping with a notepad. I always keep the notepad by my bed,
Yep. Good.
And honestly, I rarely ever can remember a thing. I wonder what that is. Is it just because we're sleeping so deep, like we're not in the REM, or what?
That, and also sometimes it's too much to remember, and we remember it subconsciously. We just don't remember it like we think we should, but we do. It's in there.
Yeah.
And I think if we tried to remember it all like how we're taught or how we think we should, it might be overwhelming and be too much.
Yeah.
But by remembering, and a lot of it can be stuff that is already ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, things we already know, and I think we just kind of download and pick it up, but yet don't remember it. But then when it's called upon in our life or needed, then that's when we'll remember it, or that's when we need it. And I think that's when it comes out. A lot of it just stays in us and gets accessed as we go along. I think, and I know, and I wish that so much of it would happen more when we're younger. And I think we grow so much spiritually and knowledge and learning as we get older. But it's just also, I look back and I think, gosh, if we only could have really connected and learned so much more when we were younger. But a lot of it comes with the knowledge and the wisdom of experience and just life in general,
Well, I kind of felt like what was happening was that maybe I was working out a lot of deep stuff, and so maybe we don't really want to remember that, Like maybe it's enough to just work it out in the sleep,
That is a perfect way of putting it. Exactly. Because that is it, that is a lot of times I feel that's a really good way of putting it. I like how you did that, because it is. A lot of times it's things we don't want to, or we, is kind of hidden in us or needs to be, but yet it's there, So yeah, that is a really good way of looking at it, things that, are in us, and when the time's right, it's, it's there, but yet some things are better left undug. Or whatever, just kind of left, but yet it has to be worked out. And as you said, I think that in the dream it gets worked out, but yet it still kind of stays where it needs to be, because there's certain things in life that is like that, So yeah, dream time is an amazing time to work out so much. Journey time, if, for the ones that do journey, that can be an amazing time to do that as well. Meditation, to grounding, balance, a lot of that is so very important. And and then even traveling, dream traveling, I think is something that's very good too. And
I have remembered some of those.
Yeah, a lot of times that can be forgotten though, but yes, it's good when you do remember. And I think it all has its purpose. And it all kind of happens as needed. It can be various and different and at different times. So but it all does. It's amazing, and I think that even if we don't remember it outright, or like you said, quick get up and take notes is a really good thing. But sometimes we can't even remember, but yet I think subconsciously we do.
Yeah, probably, and it could be working on us too throughout the day, and then it gets, I've had that happen where the odd thing got triggered by something somebody said, in the daytime. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Or, I've had dreams, and then even like as much as 3 years later, things happened.
Yeah.
Exactly as that, sometimes sooner, but I've had it be even like 3 years later. And at the time when I dreamt it, and I thought, what? But yet then years later, it's almost like a premonition, and then when it happens, you have like a deja vu.
Right.
It was actually of a premonition, if you know what I mean. That might be kind of odd, but yet you're going, wow, I've seen that before, but it was in a premonition. And now that it happened, it's like a deja vu, and it's amazing what we can see and pick up upon, and it can be such a time difference too. It can be few weeks, few months, few years. But I guess
I don't know. I'm thinking here before the end of the year. I think now is a good time to purge what you can purge. So I'm kind of looking around here and deciding what needs to be purged. What can I lighten the load?
Besides your upstairs neighbor.
What's that, Chris?
Besides your upstairs neighbor.
Yeah, that'd be a good start. Oh, believe me.
Oh, yeah, always something to purge and let go, for sure, especially this time of year. But there's every day, really, is, there's something. If you look, there is.
Yeah.
And the more you let go, the better you feel. The more you will, the more you let go, the more you heal.
Well, I talked to some lady at this function I was at last night, and I hadn't met her before. She's another artist, and she was saying that it's a good thing to do. She felt it was a good thing to do one thing out of your comfort zone every day. And I was thinking about that today, and I thought, well, that's good. Why not one thing out of your comfort zone? What else can we do every day that might just help move us forward,
Exactly. And, people like Dianna, for example, amazing inspiration, because when you reach out and you go, hey, I'm going to try something really challenging, really scary, really different. I'm going to jump out of this plane. I'm going to take this trip. I'm going to do this adventure. And she does, and so many do, and I think that's great, because a lot of times we tend to go, well, I'm going to do it one day, or I'm going to do it eventually, or I'm going to, do it when I'm ready. Well, we can wait forever till it's the right time, or till we're ready.
Never
or we can just
ready.
do it. Exactly. There you go. That's the point, Or we can just do it now, and whether we're ready or not, we can just say, hey, at least I tried, or I gave it a shot, or I did it, or, it's better to, like they say, have a bunch of regrets of what you did do than what you didn't, know.
Do you know who Alan Watts is?
No, I don't.
He's a philosopher from, way back. He was popular, like, in the 60s and 70s. I shouldn't say way back, but he was popular a long time back, and there's a lot of his talks on YouTube. And I've been, I used to be into him. I had his books, like, back in the 70s and stuff. And now he has a lot of talks on YouTube. He's passed on now, but he was really, like, has some really good stuff, on there. Like, it's a bit inspirational, and he was talking, he's got some that are talking about, how we're not really taught to live in the present moment. You know, our whole upbringing and domestication process, if you want to call it, is all based on preparing for the future, right? It's all based on preparing for the future. Like when you finish this, you can go on to that, and when you finish that, then you can go on to the next thing, you know, and prep school and this and that, you know. And our whole life, we're trained that way, you know. And then once we're adults, we're asking ourselves, why are we not living in the future? Or why are we not living in the present? Because we've been trained that way, you know. It's like we have to unlearn some of this stuff that we were trained in, you know.
Yeah, exactly. We're conditioned, you know, and that's why I think it's so much of it is taken out of us when we are little, and we do have the abilities or gifts, and then we're trained and taught not to, and to look at them and as being different or odd, or, you know. And I think so many that do have it then suppress it or let it go or just change, and that's what's really sad, you know. So yeah, it is good to embrace that and to understand, and you know, but what they want and is for everybody to be sheep and to not have that and to not think. And so I know how hard it is, especially being little, if you don't have the influences, to just keep strong, stay strong, and stay in that path and do what you're meant to do and do where you're led. And, you know, it's not always an easy journey, but it's a journey, and it's the one that we're meant to do, meant to take. And when you follow the path, I think you have a much happier life. When you avoid it and try to fit in and try to do what everybody in society thinks is right, that's when life is so much more harder and difficult. And when you look at it as not a materialistic world and look at it as more as we're all here, you know, we're all one, we're all here to help each other and to be here for each other and to do the right thing and to do what we're supposed to do and to play our part, you know, to do our part, because we all have different gifts and we're all here to share what we have, you know, and what we can do. And I think when people do, instead of just trying to fit in and trying to be that cookie cutter image and that, you know, what we feel that we're supposed to or have to be, that's when life can be so unhappy and so materialistic and so hard. And I think it's great when, you know, people embrace that and look at it differently and realize how short life can be and live your spiritual and your happy path and whatever it may be, and accept and understand that everybody's, you know, has their certain ways and different, but be open to it all. And that's what I think is so great too about such wonderful people here, you know, you and everyone, and so many. It's so great to connect with people like that, because I think it helps us all to grow and to be where we're supposed to be, and this is a great place for that.
Yeah, I think so. It is, actually. You know,
it helps, and I feel that we're kind of drawn to or connected to certain people in our lives or certain places we're supposed to be to get us to where we need to be, and you know, it's definitely a blessing when you can find that way on your path, because it can be hard and it can be difficult, and when you find such amazing people and such great true friends and family, you know, then it helps so much. And I think it's great how it all just kind of fits in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my natural instinct is to really isolate myself, you know. And I don't think that, you know, that's good to do for too long. I think it's good to have time alone, but you know, you have to have connections to other people too, right?
Yeah.
So when I come here to this show, that's what I appreciate is having those connections with other people, right?
Yeah, definitely. that
it's not, you know what I mean? It is, I think in a way for me it's been great, and it's been, the thing that has helped me to remain secluded in real life, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Just having this, and so, it's good and bad, a good mix would be better. There's no doubt about that,
Uh-huh.
and you get out a lot more than I do, and so, you still go out and you do your yoga stuff in the summer and you go do your stuff, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you're getting a better balance than I am.
A little bit. I wouldn't say it's real balanced, but yeah, I've had a few functions to go to, and I just found when I first started going out into real life after not really going out there much, there's a lot of social anxiety or whatever to go out there. And I was talking to that woman last night about that, and she said, everybody feels a bit like that when they're going out. You want to connect with people, but then it's really, really scary too, right? In a way, because you don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, introverts, that's where people that are empaths, can tend to be that way because of how it is and how it can pick up so much, and it can be overwhelming. And so it's a perfect connection and a great way to learn and meet with people and like-minded people and a good way to connect and learn and help everyone, because not everyone wants to get out and socialize or can or has the ability at certain times or wants to, may it be empath, introvert, or whatever, or just, problems at the time, or just unable to, or just uncomfortable, or even winter. I mean, there's so many different reasons as to why, but yet that's where something like this and Chris is an amazing thing for so many and helping so many in many ways. I cannot stress how much, and what a great opportunity it is for people to come and get to know and make such great friendships and loving family and caring people and teachers and helpers and, just so much. It's so much fun. Just a place to hang out, a place to learn, a place to grow, such amazing friendships throughout the years. And I don't think Chris really realizes just how much she does for me and for so many, and I just really want to thank you, Chris, for all you do. And I know you hate the L word, but I do. I do.
She snuck it in.
But yeah, it's great what you do, and the amazing opportunity for so many people to learn and love and give and share and help and grow and teach. It's so great. I've met so many people and so many amazing friends here, and I've learned so much and have opened up. I mean, Chris can remember when I never talked.
Oh, yeah.
When I was quiet, and she looks back and thinks, God, why did she ever encourage me?
Yeah, right.
You really usually only talk when you're doing readings and stuff, or the guest. But even so many nights I see you on the phone line in overtime, and you never unmute. Very, very seldom do you unmute,
I'm quiet.
You're quiet.
Yeah, except for at times. I do remember when you used to say I was like, I never say anything except for giggle here and there, and now you can't shut me up.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you wish for, right?
Yeah.
You're not the only one, but that other person is not to be mentioned ever again.
No, not ever.
Oh my God.
Yep. Well, I was quiet observer, and you brought me out, so thank you for that.
No, it's been good. It's been good for a lot of people, and hopefully it'll get good for, some other people too, as time goes on, and maybe this new idea of, getting people, other people to come on and interview the other, the guests, maybe that'll help bring a few other people out of their shells too,
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and it was so much fun. And thank you, Dianna. She's been quiet. I don't know. I think we've been all talking, but yeah, she's an amazing.
I'm enjoying listening to everybody.
Oh, yeah. And I enjoyed interviewing you and just the connection with you, and you're so great.
You did a great job, Kimber. Thank you for doing it.
Oh, thank you. And you were just amazing, and we definitely have to stay in touch, keep in touch, and love to help you through anything and everything. And I just love your energy. So, and thank you. You did an amazing job interviewing me, and I had so much fun interviewing you. And
glad to do it. Yeah, I'm eager to learn more from you about horses and bone readings, and I swear I'm going to bring you along on one of our paranormal investigations sometime. I think you'd love it.
Love it. Love to. And,
do you guys live close by to each other?
Actually, I'm in Minnesota, so I'm not sure where. Are you south?
Not that far. I'm in Nebraska.
Oh, yep, Nebraska. Okay, yep. Been through there, as I told you. Amazing.
A creepy place, Kimber.
It is. Just for the fact I'm so used to animals everywhere. And I mean, there wasn't even birds. I would stop to pick up birds. And it was like, oh my God, there's not even birds, not even a crow. It was really kind of creepy.
The weird thing is, I've been here and back a couple times, but I grew up here, and at that time, there were animals everywhere. And so I'm not really sure what's happened. But now, I don't know. Right now I'm in Lincoln, and there are so many chemicals here, and I'm not just talking about what's sprayed in the sky. That's part of it. But I cannot remember in the summertime the last time I smelled freshly cut grass. And people are mowing their lawns everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But it's just... It's kind of surreal the way this town has become compared to what I knew it as a small child. Now, again, when I go to Omaha, there's a much better, different vibe there. I'm not saying it's the perfect place, but I think I could live there again and be a lot happier there than where I am now. But I feel like my time in Nebraska is done, and I'll be moving soon. But yeah, there used to be a lot more animals here, but I'm not sure what caused the change, but it's very different, yeah.
It seems really different. It seemed almost creepy. I was ready for the zombies to start coming, It was like The Walking Dead. I mean, it was an odd energy because there was no animals and no birds, no nothing.
Oh, there are so many. I look around sometimes just if I'm running to the store to get supplies or food or whatever, and I'll just kind of look around, and I don't mean anything against these people, but I look in their eyes and I see zombies. It's kind of scary. It's kind of a surreal place anymore for me.
It is. You know what? I just really see you in Colorado. I see you in the mountains, and such a beautiful, amazing. I mean, once you go there, you're not even going to want to come back. You're going to love it. It has such just unreal energy there, and you got to go check it out. Nebraska, I think, is good for you, but I just feel stagnant. I just feel that and plus going through there, I mean, out of all the states, that and Ohio Iowa, are ones that I would just say, no, hell no, I'd never live in. I'm sorry, but I wouldn't. And seeing the states, but seeing Colorado would be like my number one pick. Minnesota's beautiful and amazing too because the animals, the trees, love it, the lakes, the water. But I'll tell you, I just really see you in Colorado. You've got to go check it out, see what you think, what you feel, and what you see. Nebraska's good. I know you like it there, but I just see so many.
No, I don't like it here at all. I can't wait to leave. No.
You gotta get out of there.
I like Omaha, but I've been there, done that. It's time to have new adventures somewhere else. But right now, I'm not quite able to leave yet. But as soon as I can, I'm cracking out of here.
Yep, you're gonna, and you know, I just so see it, and I also see that being like just the starting gun, like, you know, how they shoot off that starting gun, you know, and I just see it being like a race and adventure, and from there, and once you move, which I know it's still going to be a little bit, but when you do, it's just going to be great, and I really, really see Colorado. I do, out west, beautiful mountains, but as I said, I've been to Utah. I have family that live there. Out of all the states, Colorado, and I cannot tell you the breathtaking beauty. And some of the mountains actually made me cry. I cried it was just overwhelming. And you have to experience it.
Well, one time go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm sorry. I think that's where you're going to live, though. But
okay. Well, I was doing a meditation one time a few months ago, and I just said, okay, I know my time in Nebraska's done. Where would be some of the best places for me to go? And the first two places I got were Longmont, Colorado, and Greeley, Colorado. And I thought, okay, I don't think I've been to either one of those. I've got to look them up on a map. Well, one of my friends, I guess, had lived in Longmont before. So I don't know if my subconscious was picking up on something, you know, that was said to me about it. But I just thought, all right, maybe I better check this place out. And I guess Longmont, it's still north of Denver within an hour, but I guess it is kind of more like a small town, and that's kind of what I want. As you know, being really intuitive, you don't want to be around big crowds of people all the time.
Exactly. And no, you don't.
Although one of my projects I want to sell is a TV sitcom pilot, and I'm focusing on that to get that in front of the right people. But I think, okay, because I'm passionate about this project, I could probably live in LA for 3 years, but I've heard a lot of people still work remotely, so I could still live in Colorado and do the TV show, I'm sure. But I just thought it was interesting that when I said, okay, what would be the best place, my intuition gave me 2 towns in Colorado. And my experience has been people I've met that were from Colorado, most of them I did not care for, so I've never really had a good opinion of the state until I found out they named their state dog the shelter dog, and I thought, all right, that's pretty cool. We better reevaluate. And then you know, cannabis is legal, and that's one of the main 3 herbs that's used in Ayurvedic medicine in India, and I thought, okay. They're seeing stuff that a lot of other people aren't. It's getting more respect for me, so.
Yes. You know, I'm glad that you brought that up because I do feel that is a very healing herb and a healing medicine. And I think that you're going to like that about Colorado, too, because I think that it is also one of the herbs that you're going to work with because it is very, very healing. So, I haven't used it much yet, but I've had fantastic results with it, just what little bit I have explored with it. And there's so many different, you know, strains of it that I haven't even begun that research yet. Yep, it's a medicine. It is, and you're going to work with that as well. See, you know, as I said before, the horse medicine, but I also feel very strong you have that herbs and spices and just the natural and the organic and just the healing, the medicine woman. You know, you have that in you. And horse medicine too, and I don't know if that comes, because I get that so strongly, and I have since even when I talked to you the other day, I kept thinking that and feeling that with you, horse medicine. And I don't know if that's going to be part of your book or part of what you write about or part of what you do, part of something that you create, a horse medicine, but there's something to do. And I know you also work with the horse medicine, and you will. And it's something that you're drawn to, but that I feel very strong. But yes, the cannabis is very, and I think that's also one of the reasons why you're going to end up in Colorado, because it is such a healing herb, and you have that herb magic, you know.
And it's legal to use it there.
Yes, it is. There you go. And and look at what it's done for that state. The amazing, beautiful, wonderful things. And you know, to me, I believe food is medicine. I believe herbs is medicine, and spices and all the natural. You know, that's what. Not the prescriptions. That's all not good. You know, all the money-controlled pharmacy crap, you know.
And that's another reason I was really open more to moving to Colorado, because this year I've been wanting to get off more prescription stuff. Not that I was on that much to begin with, but then I developed some issues where now I'm on even more, and so I feel like, okay, we've got to step this up. We got to make this change. The only thing that kind of holds me back is sometimes when I think about moving to a place where I've never been before, all by myself, and I think, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's great once I've been there for a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? And you meet the new people, but
yeah,
that's one thing that I do see me kind of holding myself back a little bit on that.
Well, it's a scary adventure, but out of many people, I see you of all people doing it, and taking that risk, that opportunity, that chance. But I also feel that along the way, you're going to find a friend that's going to go with you, that's going to be willing to do that. It feels like a friendship, and that going to say, hey, yeah, let's go together and let's see what we can, you know, what we can do, and it be like a roommate type thing, and a friendship, and kind of someone to hang with and get you started, and working together, because yeah, it can be really hard to just go start out by yourself, and you know, but I do feel that somewhere along the line there is a friend, and you'll know in your heart who it is when it comes, and it's going to be an adventure. You're going to say, hey, let's go do this, let's go try it, let's go move there and give it a shot. It just seems like such an amazing opportunity, an amazing thing for you, and it almost feels within the next few years that you're going to be a permanent resident of there. I think you might go visit first and go check it out and see what it's like and kind of explore a little bit, and then work your way into moving there. But I just really feel the mountains. I really feel Colorado for you for so many reasons, from the horses to the herbs to the medicines to, I think it'll even help you. I think you may even, you know, for medicinal or whatever purposes. It's a yeah, and hey, I have, so you know, I know all about it. But
go ahead. Sorry.
It's good. It's healing. It's going to help you in so many ways. So stay open to that.
Sometimes when I'm thinking about my health, I just think, oh God, you got to be by the water. You got to be where it's warm. Just go to Florida. Forget the mountains. Just go where it's warm.
Well, you know, and I understand that, and I picked that
live
up.
With
but that's
reptiles. You'll get used to them.
Yeah. That's funny that you say reptiles, because I was thinking about those when you said Florida. I right away thought of alligators.
Lots of them there, yeah. And then you deal with reptilian spirits and aliens all the time anyway here, so who cares?
Yep, exactly. But, you know, I feel that's more of a vacation for you, and more your roots and your place of where you're going to set your just kind of set your place and stay is going to be more the mountains. And I know the warm might sound a little better and all that, but I just really feel mountains for you, and I feel more Colorado, more out west. Although Florida, I have relatives, and yay, great, never been there, but, I just don't really feel you or picture you there. I really feel mountains in Colorado, and for so many reasons, I think it's going to really open up your opportunity to work with horses. Although they're everywhere, there's more there than there would be in Florida. And I really feel that you have a strong connection with the horses, and that's going to be something you're going to get into. And Colorado is going to be a good place for that. You're going to really enjoy it there. Amazing adventures there. I think you're going to kind of, like I said, go there and visit, but then you're going to go there and stay. So you are going to really, really like it. Florida's going to be a vacation for you one day. I just feel it's somewhere that you thought about and you thought, oh, but I don't see you living there. I don't see you happy living there. I see it being way too different, overwhelming energy, like where you're at now. It's good. It's all been great, and it's a place you've been at, but it's time for a change and time to go. And I know the empath thing. I'm the same way. I cannot be in cities. I'm a country girl. I'm the same way. I can't be around a lot of cities, a lot of people, and you're the same way. So you're going to be much happier being more in that area. And Colorado, you definitely got to put it on a list to go see it. And I think next year is going to be a year where you're going to go check it out. And you definitely are going to have to let me know come spring you're going to go back to that one place where you're going to see that spirit, and she's going to connect with you again, and you're going to have to let me know how all that goes, because I'm very, very curious. She's got some information for you. Long, dark, flowing hair, the white dress. She's going to connect with you and tell you her story. She wants to let you know what happened, and I do feel that it was financial issues, and, what I keep picking up is that it was hard for them to afford to stay where they were staying, and he thought it was better to do that and to get rid of them all than to have them to be homeless, if that makes... Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, especially that time period, over 100 years ago.
Yeah, it just feels like it was almost they were going to lose the place, and he didn't know what else to do, and he didn't want to see them all be separated, and it was his way of keeping them all together, which is almost a really sad way of looking at it. But it was his way of, I almost want to say heartless and cruel, but yet in his own kind of, I hate to say sick way, but, it was his way of keeping them all together as a family, if that makes any sense, if you know what I mean. And I think she's going to kind of let you know that, and that it was, that as they all went through it, it was really hard, and that's where you heard the screaming, and it was scary, and it was an extremely traumatic and difficult thing. But yet I think they all accepted it and understood that his intentions were, I don't want to say good, because it's not good, but yet his intentions were meaning in a good way.
Yeah, I did not really heavy, evil feeling whenever I would think about the guy. And when the one guy on the team spotted the guy with the black suit, I had a feeling that was the guy who did it. But I didn't that just horribly malevolent, crazy psychopathic type thing. There was definitely very heavy, dark energy there, but not like what you would think of for, say, a serial killer or a massive killing like that. It just wasn't as heavy or as evil as what I thought it was going to be. Because when we were contemplating going down that road at night, I thought, oh, I don't know, how dark is this? Can you handle it? But then when we kind of encountered part of that energy, I thought, well, it's not good, but that's why I kind of questioned, maybe this isn't the right guy, because it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
Well, it feels like it could be him. It does feel like there was another male involved, though, in some way, and I'm having a hard time picking up as to how, but it does feel that there was another male involved. But for the man himself, it just feels that it was more of almost a mercy. I hate to put it in that way. I don't know how to put it. I don't think he wasn't a serial killer. He wasn't one that did it out of, he just wanted to see what it would be like or anything. I think it was more of a financial issue, and he was lost and distraught, and in so much despair, he didn't know what to do, and he didn't know how to tell them, and he felt like a failure, and I just feel very traumatic, very drama, so much emotion, and that he did it, but yet he regretted it. And I think as he did it, it really hit him what he was doing, but yet was caught up in it and almost felt like he had to finish out what he did, and then did himself too as well.
I got the feeling he killed himself too.
Yes, he did. Oh, he did. I really feel that when he was done, he felt such remorse and such trauma that he then did himself. And as I said, I really feel, which is really, really sad, a materialistic money issue, and it feels like I keep getting like lost the farm, lost the place, lost the homestead, lost the, everything that he knew, and he didn't know what else to do. And sometimes, and I've lost people that I love dearly from suicide, and I know it can be very hard, and especially I think he almost felt like he was doing them something good than harming them, which is really a sad way to look at it, but that's how he looked at it. And I think that's what she wants to let you know, is that she understood that, and that it was something that he did trying to help them more than out of a hurt and a spite, and that's why it's extreme energy, and that's why you really picked it up, and it's going to be emotional when you do and when you see her, but you're going to be very drawn to it and very fascinated, and you're going to want to know the story. So it's going to be a very good experience, a hard experience, an emotional one. But I do think those are some of the things that she's going to let you know and tell you, and that's some of the story that goes along with it. And there's an extreme amount of energy, and I think she comes in the strongest. There, as you said, 7, I believe it was. But she comes in the strongest because she just feels like she was the kind of head of the family, if that makes sense, kind of the one that took care of the others and just felt almost like the mom role type, But
I'll let you know ahead of time when we're going to do it, just on the chance if you would like to participate. You're more than welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It just, wow, the extreme energy I pick up from that and from that place. And, as I said, it just feels like a Bermuda Triangle, just an extreme adventure there. So, yeah, thank you. And do keep me informed and do let me know, because I'm very curious and I'm, very interested in that connection you have with her, because I think not only there, but I think she has came to see you since then. I think she has a fascination with you, and she knows that you're very intuitive and that you're a strong medium, and that there's some kind of connection. So when you go there, it's going to be quite the amazing experience. I just keep picturing the hair on your arms going up, and the goosebumps, and a little bit scared, but don't be scared. It's going to be great.
Cricket
Oh,
time.
sorry.
Okay.
I'm just so excited for her. This is going to be fun.
There's other chances. I like this idea. Gives me a bit of a break too, you know what I mean? And so yeah, we're a little bit over, and I'm hungry and tired. And this ear is really hurting me. This headphone thing is, you know how that gets every now and then? So you're like, oh, that hurts bad on my ear. So anyway, I am gonna say thank you so much, Kimber, for coming and doing this, and you too the other night, Dianna. So that was a nice little change, and we'll do more stuff like that in the new year, in the upcoming year. And so, is this your last show with us this year, Dianna? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So happy New Year. I don't know.
Same to you. And Merry Christmas if you celebrate that. I normally don't, but I'm being whisked away with a friend to Des Moines, Iowa to celebrate it. So I'm looking forward to watching another family celebrate.
Oh, good. Yeah, well, we're going to probably be kicking around. Suddenly I'm getting muted like crazy, and Dianna just got muted. Press your one button. I can't keep up to it tonight.
Oh, me too.
Anyway, we're going to be kicking around, probably Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and I might take Boxing Day off. I don't know. We'll see. So anyway, we're here tomorrow with Lisa, Noel, and Shalosky. Thanks again to Kimber and Dianna. And everybody for coming and listening. I appreciate it. And all of your support is very, very much appreciated. So, we're gone. 3. Thank you, everybody. 2, 1. So.